camera. And we are live! Hi, everybody! How y'all doing? Let me know if the audio sounds good. Welcome to our penultimate episode of Endwalkers. Holy moly, we're making it, guys. Ray, good to see you, glad to have you. Reminder, no spoilers. Not that there's much left to spoil, but basically just the bits we haven't got to yet, which is, at this point, basically just map 6. Crazy. Nico, good to see you, glad to have you. Meowza, good to see you, glad to have you. Rip, good to see you, glad to have you. Infinite, good to see you, glad to have you. Luke, good to see you, glad to have you. Tracy, good to see you, glad to have you. Lynn, good to see you, glad to have you. Deathberry, good to see you, glad to have you. Hello, I hope everyone is having a great day. To you two as well, Deathberry, and hey, Lynn. V, good to see you, glad to have you. For my title for this episode, I don't know if any of you caught it because I don't know if it was live when it, but I presented like 6 different episode titles to Ray, and I was curious what Ray's thoughts were. And Ray's immediate choice was to make all the titles into one big title. Crabe, good to see you, glad to have you. See, Elio gave me 3 titles to choose from, so I smushed them all together to make one. It was like the corner of the curtain falls in the far. Oh, wait, I just got the titles meeting. There you go, Lynn, there you go. Can I have coffee? Yes, Raven, you can go get your own coffee. I want coffee too. Go get some coffee, Ray. Sadly, no coffee for me unless you want me behaving like a cat with hours-long case of the zoomies. Yeah, I'm good with, I got my soda. I'm not a fan of coffee. It's far too bitter for my taste. Another cup of decaf. Same, but I've already had enough coffee for the day. Crumbled to dust from dehydration. I'm gonna blame you all. Just drink some water, Light. Also, Light, good to see, glad to have you. Yes, please hydrate. If this was Twitch, I would have a hydrate button that y'all could click on. Sadly, YouTube doesn't allow for stuff like that. Caffeine doesn't affect me at all. Man, Ray, that'd be great. Caffeine usually just makes me tired. He says he drank another Mellow Yellow. Meowza, good to see, glad to have you. Had a friend, caffeine made him sleepy. Yeah, caffeine makes me sleepy too, Raven. Yeah. Apparently, it's very common with people with ADHD that it works as a slight inhibitor, but I don't know. T levels of caffeine are fair game. Coffee and espresso are the one way ticket to keep go at hyper. So then I started hormone therapy and suddenly it worked. That's fascinating, Lynn. That's one way of solving that. Yeah, exactly. Hopefully I can get out of work soon and join up with everyone. Definitely, Kiko. Although today we shouldn't have a trial, and we probably won't. We won't have a trial or a dungeon. I'm thinking we're gonna stop roughly around halfway through map 6. I think based on current things, and then we'll go into the end of the game tomorrow. My plan is that I'm going to try to do some side quests in map 6 if we're going a little fast, just because I think some of them are very relevant. That's a way of solving it. Yeah. Infinite, did I get a good see glad to have you up at the top? Yes, I did. Good. Okay. Mizuko, good to see glad to have you. Oblivion, good to see glad to have you. Audio's good. Good. Kay, good to see glad to have you. Glad you caught the stream. Looking sharp, Elliot. Why, thank you, lady. Good to see glad to have you as well. Woke up at 3:30 and had a heart attack. Think I missed the stream. Oh no. So my day started out in a chaos way. Well, at least you're good, Raven. Nicholas, good to see glad to have ya. Tea is much better. Ironically, I'm not a huge tea fan. However, I will be making some Ishgardian tea. Reminder, we have the cooking stream this Saturday. I'm not a fan of coffee. You're more of a tea person, I take it. I am more of a tea person. It's true. I love a good green tea. I found Pepsi Zero Wild Cherry at the store, so I'm happy. So final Endwalker episode and 6.4 the same day hype. Crepe, I'm thinking I might end up actually doing 6.4 the following Wednesday. That way anyone who wants to experience the Hydaelyn stuff blind or Rokon. But we'll see. It may be that I just get up early and do all the 6.4 stuff in the morning and then Endwalker in the afternoon. We'll see. We'll see. But good thing to bring it up. Yukio, good to glad to have you. Umino, good to glad to have you. Will you do a stream to try the varied dungeons in Hydaelyn? Yes. The only question is, will I be doing it tomorrow or will I be doing it Wednesday? What a stream name, yeah. Cast to leave work early tomorrow so I can enjoy uninterrupted. Sweet. Cool. Today, trials are all emotional. Yeah. Well put, Decoy. Good to see you. Glad to have you, by the way. Not sure if this is still the case, but in Canada, used to not allow clear, light-colored soda, including Mountain Dew, to contain caffeine. Any reason why specifically the clear or light-colored ones? Also, look at these lovely people. Oblivion, V, Raven, Misigo. Good to see you. Glad to have y'all. Okay. What time is it? We got 404, error not found. Oh, funny enough, there's going to be a 404 error in the MSQ today. Thank you for the obligatory Coke. Okay. What we're going to do... Oh, one of your clients... Oh, I forgot. That keeps happening because I need to reset my... my hard drive that crashed. Welcome back, Tracy. How are y'all doing today? Oh, you know what we should do? Oh, look, there's a loom. What we should do today. Action. I haven't seen him lilling around much lately, so. Or actually, that's not true. We saw him last week. There is a quest I want to do today based off of last week's episode. Tuesday. Daldash? I think it's Daldash. Ooh, okay. There's a couple of quests I want to do here. I think this will be the perfect warm-up. If I ask you for help, you'll help me, won't you? That's usually how it works with me, frankly. You will? Good, because I'm having a problem with a runaway doll. A doll? It ran away? That's right. All I did was lend him a little aether, and he hopped up and dashed off down the street. Mama and Papa bought him for me a special gift. I'm gone and lost him. They'll be furious with me for losing a toy I kept asking for, so please, you have to help me find him. You can trust it to me. I'll figure it out. It's a different one? Thanks, Light. Okay, I'll hurry home and see if he went there. And you can search the rest of the city. Nope, this is the one. Oh, he's a yellow carbuncle doll, by the way. And I think he was headed north. Anyway, maybe back here when you have him. Or, you know, you just give up. So, if you don't know, yellow carbuncles are actually, topaz, amber carbuncles are actually kind of rare. There's topaz, I believe, is common. You know, we use that. But I believe it's amber. I forget what the. I'll pull up the note I have in E1 about this. But there's a lore thing I'm gonna get in. There's a reason that this quest doesn't get unlocked a little bit later in the game. You find a yellow carbuncle doll. Lifelike expression aside, it appears to be otherwise motionless. Return to Journey's End and deliver it to the mischievous Mikote. Doing all right. Had a good cry last night. Friend was streaming Ghost Trick. I don't know that last night. Finished it last night. So good. I'm glad that it was it was emotional release for you, lady. Please do the forum outfit quest, please. It gives me the excuse to see your Ellis. Yep. We'll definitely do that at some point, Yukio, for sure, if we got time. I'm great today. On Saturday, I tried WoW raising. WoW raiding. Nice, Raven. You were telling me about that. You've been doing stuff with your guild. Carbuncle Glore. Did Alfino create the Onyx Carbuncle, or did I mishear that somewhere? No, well, so... Kind of. The Moonstone and Onyx are kind of interesting cases. We'll pull up the Carbuncle stuff in a second. He wasn't there. I don't think I'll ever see him again. This life stuck toy appears ready to scamper away at any moment. Thankfully, it lacks the ethereal energy to do so. Ooh, you found him! Just like the Big Mooney would have. Big Mooney? Oh, that's what I call the neighbor who used to play with me. She was so tall and smart, and always so nice. She'd tell me stories about her friend, a powerful wizard who could summon his very own carbuncle companion. That's why I wanted one for myself. I have to learn how to move him around better, though, so that when Mooney comes back, she can see how hard I've been practicing my magics. This is for you. Papa says that when someone helps you, you have to show your gratitude. So, thanks for finding my carbuncle. Bye. For those of you who do not know, the Amber Carbuncle is particular to a certain Uriange Agralt and Mumbrita Wilson. The Amber Carbuncle. By applying knowledge he had obtained in the studium, Uriange altered the geometry for creating Topaz Carbuncle, allowing instead for the use of amber in the summoning of an arcane familiar. So complex is the process of invocation, however, that only he has ever been capable of reproducing the spell. Yep. When she says Big Mooney, she's talking about Moonbrita. Oh, yeah. Why do carbuncles have rarity when you can just imagine it as a different color? Well, because it's based off the crystal. So you have to have a crystal and then as a foci. And then that is used in the different crystal foci and the summoning magics required. Each crystal has basically different attunements that you have to use. So you basically, the like ruby, topaz, and emerald are the most common. And they're like the ones that everybody uses because everyone knows how to do them. But you can use other crystals, but you would have to basically discover how to do so, and it's not necessarily a big difference. Like, there's not like necessarily a huge difference. So most people don't. Why would you bother? Other than like for academic reasons. Yeah. Starting right off with the fuels I see. Yep. The Book of Lore. Thanks for finding my carbuncle. Bye. Elio then immediately gets up and walks away. Yep. Oh god, it's worse. Are you doing the pretzel quest? Yes. I remember recently seeing the E1 passage recently, yeah. Would love an amethyst carbuncle. Is there a reference to amethyst carbuncle? I know there's moonstone, onyx, that's interesting. They don't talk about... I forget which section they actually talk about arcanism in. This is not summoner. Huh. Give me one moment. I'm trying to remember actually where that section is. They kind of talk about it throughout, don't they? If I'm not mistaken, they do talk about it with the twins a little bit. No. Well, y'all get the idea. In theory, an amethyst carbuncle should be possible. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised, especially with the system that they have for the carbuncle now, that they haven't just included a bunch of different colored carbuncles, or honestly just a color wheel for people to choose from. I guess from a lore perspective, you would have to discover... Yeah, okay, color wheel makes sense, because you would need to discover how to use the different crystals in order to summon them. That's kind of like the root thing, and because you're using topaz, emerald, and ruby as summoner, I guess that kind of makes sense, but still... Cool, now we need to go to the last stand. I feel so teased by the quest. Such a cake tease, yeah. One day I'm sure we'll get more Sharlayan attire, and it'll be randomly, it'll be in the middle of like 8.1, all of a sudden they're just gonna add a quest. It's gonna be weird out of nowhere. Honestly, the way this game lore does familiar is really neat, and I decided to steal it from a D&D setting. Yeah. We need rock carbuncles. Sometimes best way is the most straightforward one. Well, actually, you so it's kind of like crystals, right? Like, so crystals are particularly good mediums for being able to focus at aether and you know, quicken it to life in a familiar. So I don't know that a rock would work. I find funny Alistair is now the one with a familiar. Alistair? Oh, Angelo. Oh, okay, yeah, that took me a second. I was like, I guess, yeah, Angelo's, that's fair. Good point. I was thinking all combat for a second there. Welcome. What will we be having today? Oh, it's you, Elio. As it happens, Alisaie also came by recently. Busy as she is, she wanted to let me know she's patched things up with her father. I'm truly happy for her. But speaking of busy, we're quite short on hands this shift. As much as I hate to bother you, could you deliver an order for me? A pair of salad sandwiches for an elderly gentleman at Ox Landing. He's a Lalafell with a distinguished air, so you can't miss him. My thanks in advance. When would Carby? See, now y'all going crazy. This is why we don't get nice things. The second they give us an inch, y'all want a mile. Rock carbuncle is just a vaguely carbuncle shaped rock that you throw at heads. Okay. You know what? Infinite, you won me over. I can get behind that. It's also kind of like why jobstones are crystalline, right? Like, crystals are in particular effective foci for aether. Weird. Maybe I'll have to go fix that in the back end later. Better than some fam who want protocarb RB mods. I'll admit that protocarb uncle is that'd be pretty funny. And it's gay. Good to glad to have you. I think the most interesting thing they could have done, if obviously purely aesthetic, is unlock a single extra skin for Garunkel after Zone 6 using a Dynamis crystal as the medium. Well, that kind of... You can't, though, because you would a crystal of Dynamis inherently would negate aetherological manipulation through it, right? By nature of, like, what Dynamis inhibits Aether and Aether inhibits Dynamis. So a Dynamis crystal, I think, would almost be one of the things that would least work, right? Krista, good to glad to have you. But it's a cool idea for sure. I want a giant carbuncle with superpowers and think it should also be like a rainbow. Also, it should be a mountain, like maybe. Well played, Oblivion. Oh, you are one of the Scions, are you not? Elio, I believe. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Now, what might I do for you? Lovingly made as the last stand, the sandwich is fairly bursting with the freshest seasonal vegetables. Here you go, sir. Your sandwich. Ah, the sandwiches. How very kind of you to bring them. The last stand serves up many scrumptious dishes, but their sandwiches have always been my favorite. My son, meanwhile, was partial to the pretzels. When I was young, I attended the studio. Louisaw was a classmate of mine, a kindred spirit in the study of magic. We inspired each other to greater heights. After I completed my studies, I continued conducting research, eventually became a professor. I married and had a family, settled down. Such a life wasn't for Louisoix, who was on the road more often than not. My son grew to admire him and went to become his pupil, and earned his archon's mark. To see him set forth to fight for Eorzean beside Louisoix filled me with pride. Yet so too did I worry, as any parent would. In the end, he gave his life for his cause, so strongly did he believe in it. And having now seen his comrades fighting tirelessly to protect our star, I've come to understand whence came his conviction. Ah, but listen to me blathering on. I know you are a busy man, so I shall let you go. Thank you. Not only for the sandwiches, but also for standing with my son to the last. Oh. I'm torn. On the one hand, I would have loved a voice-acted version of that was part of the MSQ, but I really adore the side quests that they used to, like, tell some of those, like, yeah. Ugh. I think it's better no name was used. It leaves you to remember. Yeah, NSK, I actually kind of am sympathetic with you there. I love this fact that, because there's no... Also, you would potentially be able to know it was Papalymo's father right away from his name. Although, are they Plainsfolk? Well, no, it could have been potential. No, because it would have been family different. No, but like, I think letting it be innocuous and then also all of a sudden you realize what this moment is, I think is I like it for that. Kind of sad this NPC didn't get a name, yeah. The resemblance is uncanny, Papalymo. I feel so guilty by that quest. Why guilty? No, because again, the point the father makes is not that he blames you, he thanks you, right? Like, again, this is the thing, this is one of the things I loved about the Sharlayan parents of the Scions, is that they were proud of their children. They are, like, it's clearly they're sad, right? But like, I get feeling sad, but guilt definitely is not the emotion to feel. Like, it's like, for instance, if you chose to ignore Papalymo and stand by him, you know, like trusting in Papalymo and leaving him is only, you still stood by him to the end. He asked you to do something for him, which was the right thing to do, which was to leave, right? So it's not standing by his side, like leaving when he asked you to, I don't think is in any way is failing to, but we all gotta go sometime. And not that we can avoid sadness about it, but it's better to do, you know, go down standing for what you absolutely believe in, right? And we stood by our friend at the end. People say Lala can't be serious. I mean, anyways, Lala can't be serious is ignoring large swaths of this game. So Dynamis Crystal is essentially like lead in a lot of modern fantasy novels where lead negates magic. Yeah, more like matter and antimatter. I guess the thing is they don't immediately destroy each other, so you're not wrong with lead. But the thing is, remember, a large amount of Dynamis obliterates Aether. A large amount of Aether blocks and obliterates Dynamis, and so they cancel each other out if one is stronger than the other. That's why the ethereal shroud around the star prevented the Song of Oblivion from affecting the source and Aetheris, right? And vice versa. I just realized at the end of the quest, then I abandoned it and redid it. Oh, yeah. I liked it for the same reason. It totally caught me by surprise, yeah. Ah, you're back. Did you have a chat with the customer? I did at that. Wonderful. The gentleman's a regular of ours, you see. When he heard that the Scions had come to Sharlayan, he was beside himself with excitement. Dearly wanted to meet you, but wasn't sure how to go about it. So when you appeared when you did, well, I thought I could make it happen. Appreciate you going along with it. By way of thanks, here's a little something on the house. Enjoy. And that's good enough time for a warm-up. Let's go ahead and... Shall we get into the MSQ? Rydia! Good to have you. How you doing? Staying with Papalimo also wouldn't have accomplished anything except like needless dying next to him. Yeah. It's all well and good to feel heroic and try to... And to be like, oh no, I'm going to choose to stand by you literally until the end. But it wouldn't have accomplished anything exactly. But in every way that mattered, we stood by Papalimo to the end, including fulfilling his final wish and making sure to get Lisa away. My singing isn't that bad. Well played, Oblivion, well played. It's me because I chose Gridania as my first, and while I was devastated when we made our choice, I hate Ildur for it even though it was important. Also, speaking of names, the way Lalafell names work, you wouldn't know. Yeah. I was trying to correct myself, Infinite. I was like, wait a second, no, because each is, there's not the family name, there's just the individual. The only time there's a family name is like the Ul line. Oh, you literally, only royal family, yeah. To be fair, it's not just royal families, though, technically speaking. The Ul line is the specific examples, but in theory, that could also exist for Plainsfolk and Dunesfolk and be conglomerate lines and other things. Yeah. Pretty good. I got my new GPU. My 1080 died sadly, but I got Starfield Premium Edition as well. Nice. Is the Ul line named after Ulda? Ulda is named after the Ul line. Time to tell me Dad we killed Mom. Okay. I'm glad to see you well. Though we could roughly place your souls deep as you went, we could neither see nor hear you. The fluctuations in your aether near the end give me quite a fright. What in the world happened? Hydaelyn is no more.
You mean to say Hydaelyn is... No. There's no time to feel our feelings. We must carry out Hydaelyn's will without delay. We'll find Midian if it's the last thing we do. If you wouldn't mind handing over the crystal, that is, the fancy navigatory one.
To the edge of the universe, where congregates the despair of countless stars, you are determined to see this through. We are. Should our words fail us, we will fight to the bitter end. I know that it pains you to accept this, but that I need ask nothing more of you. Yet we have only two means to travel the great expanse, the moon and Sharlayan's Ark. I am all too aware that without both of them, there will be no exodus, but nevertheless beg you to honor the agreement we made. Man, I'm thrown right into the deep end of doing voices today. The forum's decisions will be honored. You have earned the right to use the ship as you see fit. I could not rescind it even if I wanted to. As it happens, I do not, and would do all within my power to aid your cause.
With that settled, might I suggest you rest a while? Proving oneself to Hydaelyn is never easy, and despite our unparalleled genius, we'll need a day to make the necessary calculations. You may as well take advantage of it.
You can chart a course through the sea of stars in a single day. Ye gods. Shall we head above ground for some fresh air then? Perhaps a nap. I found it hilarious in WoW Legion that there's a big mountain called Hith Mountain, and it's named after the chief of the tribe that lives there, not because it's actual high mountain. Yeah, funny how names work out. So starting grew down during the beta back in the day, so Papa Lima's moment hit extra hard. Yeah. I started in Ulda for my first character. I'm a desert boy. Yeehaw. I chose to leave Papa Limo. I really cried knowing that Elbert wanted to just hurt me. Papa Limo paid the price. Yeah. But, you know, again, leaving him is doing the only thing you can do in that moment and respecting the greatest student of Louis Swamp. Proving oneself to Hydaelyn is never easy. Wait, how often did that happen? I mean, like any warrior of light throughout history, as well as to an extent the Loporits, right? I tried to say, but I got weepy when he forced me to go. Yeah. Dude, when we get to Final Fantasy V, when me and Neri get to the first moment this song plays, it's gonna hit hard.
Aha! I've been expecting you. I heard about your foray into the ethereal sea. The students have ventured far and wide, but never quite so deep as that. Are you experiencing any altered after effects from your prolonged exposure? Nausea? Dizziness? Hauntings? Ooh. Well, have a pleasant sleep. And if you do experience any unusual phenomena, please let me know. I shall add it to our records.
There you are. Some time, indeed, yes. For you, at least. Believe me,
talking.
I'd meant to get some proper sleep. But here we are, drifting along instead. Well, well, you too. And so we remain, to watch and wonder. Yes, indeed. To begin, we first must see the end.
See the line from To the Edge. course, the Amartine theme. Moon was in the sky, then the moon's gone. And as a symbol of Zodiac. Oh, that's... I didn't realize it. So the first time around, I didn't realize who Hydaelyn was talking to, but then also the second time around, our first time around, I didn't notice the moon there and then the moon gone. That's really... Okay, real quick, I want to figure out what the heck is going on with my menus about saving. I'm assuming I'm gonna have to log out real quick. My assumption is that my E drive is where like it was saving certain information about the game. Or something like that. Okay, there's that. That doesn't work. I'll just see if there's a way to turn off notifications like that. If anyone knows, let me know. Kethra, thank you for your 11 months of Archonship. Raven, thank you for the 8 months of Archonship. And Deathberry, thank you for the 11 months of Archonship. Enjoy your emotes. Yeah, for some reason I feel sad for those two. Their trio may never be complete again. Yeah, I think it's the same lesson thing we were talking about when it comes to Papalymo and stuff. Is like, I think acceptance, making the best of it, and letting there be sorrow, but also accepting the beauty that comes forth afterwards. You know. On that note, time to head home. See everyone in a few. Sounds good, Kiko. I have a feeling it will in some form, Yukio. Yeah. Who was he then talking about? Loop. To avoid spoilers until we get later, he was Hydaelyn was talking to the other soul Hydaelyn return to the ethereal sea, let's say. It's an issue with the settings sync feature in XIV. Oh, nice. NSK, do you know how to fix it? Raven, I'll never get over the face on your profile. It's great. It is excellent. I wonder who he then was talking to. Yes, it's someone you know. Someone that shows up later. Seems a little late, but join our YouTube channel for the low price of not much a month. You get custom emojis, special badges, and the warm fuzzy feeling of supporting your favorite archivist. That's us. I'm late. Are we having technical difficulties? No, Kethra, we're early. We just had a certain, or you're on time. We just had a certain notification thing that was popping up. Is the Hotwire client error popping up? I've been having it a while now. I still don't know how to fix it. I do, but it's a wall post. Sounds good, NSK. Well, at the very least, Raven will be able to fix it. When I think about those two floating in the ethereal sea, I cannot help but to feel a sense of sadness knowing their trio will never complete, but I know they would still be happy to watch them. Yeah. Well, and also, the Hydaelyn and the other... I think the other ancients recognize the need to be... For things to begin, the world... we must first see the end of the world. For the world, the new world that is inherited life to truly begin, the old world has to end. And that means that they need to let go and move on. You know, it's all about passing on the mantle. It's all about passing on, yeah. We will know later. Yes, you 100%. It is. We will know who it is later. It is directly told to you. Well, it's indirectly told to us, but. Altheo, I trust you had a good rest. An envoy of Master Fortunal arrived not a long ago. An envoy of Master Fortunal has arrived not a long ago. Is that a typo? Is that an acceptable way of speaking, or is that a typo? With the message, the Loppers have determined the Medion's location.
We've been asked to gather at the rostra. We'll meet you there along with the others. Oh, a great many of the helpman hands that delivered the adamantite are still here in Sharlayan, and I, for one, couldn't be happier. Between the aether burner to be refurbished, supplies to be transported, and meal to be prepared, we need all the assistance we can get. Even Lord Emmanuel has been doing its part, albeit at a snail's pace. Still, it's the thought that counts, but a bit more effort wouldn't go amiss.
It's just, okay, it is just an I was wondering, is that even in an archaic way, is that an acceptable way? Not a long ago? I've never even heard that even in an archaic usage. There's several moments in the game where someone makes the ultimate choice and there's nothing we can do but accept it. Minfilia, 3 times. Ysael, Papalymo, the Exarch, Vana, yeah. Well, I would also, it depends on how you want to frame it. The ultimate, make the ultimate choice or the ultimate sacrifice that, because if you think about it, for instance, Y'shtola in Shadowbringers, tossing herself in, she doesn't know, for all she knows, she may die. Like, it is still a value, for instance, for someone to decide to sacrifice themselves not knowing that there's any chance for, you know, resurrection, right? Prowl, something wrong? No. Elio, is all right. Well played. We're not allowed to forget him, yeah. That's more of a spur of the moment catch a bullet than the others, but yes, very much him too, yeah. Manuelane is great. His German version is even more clingy to the warrior flight. That's funny. I'm still tortured by the Dragon Song reprise that the devs kept bashing us on the head that Horse Font needs to die. Yeah. Again, needs to die. I feel like Yukio, you gotta try to frame it a little different, right? His sacrifice secured a better world, and he went down making the world better and giving himself up. It's not like, oh, he has to die or the all tough time unravels. But his sacrifice wasn't in vain because it secured a better future, right? For his people and for everyone else. I fear our recent travails within Labyrinthos and the Ethereal Sea have taken their toll on my mind. But last night I received a visitor in my dreams, Umbrita. A vision not the woman she was, nay, but the woman she would have become. Since the final days first manifested, we've been tested as never before, even more so in your case. Nevertheless, our work is far from over. We cannot afford to falter now, not when the end is in sight. Yeah, it's good to be glad to have you. It's a cannon. How did you sleep? Well, I should hope it's like... Well, I should hope. It's likely the last opportunity we'll have to take a proper rest for quite some time. I probably could have done with a few more winks myself. The thought of what's to come was keeping me awake, you see. So I thought to do a bit of research, hoping I might eventually feel weary enough to doze off. But before I realized it, it was already morning. No need to scold me. I already regret it, and will probably only feel that regret more keenly as the days wear on. Do you think the souls that made up Zodiark and Hydaelyn had to be broken down? I mean, otherwise you have a bunch of people with very powerful souls running around, or even uncentered souls. The impression I get from the narrative is the souls that return to the Ethereal Sea of Ancients are letting themselves break down, yes. For a variety of reasons. Is there anywhere I can watch the read-up on the story of the Dragon Song reprise? Honestly, if you mean the Dragon Song Prize, Dragon Song Ultimate, just the story is the fight. If you just watch anyone do the fight, you'll see it. Not really though. I mean, again, really, what you should do is just watch the fight. So like the souls that were sacrificed, they're still whole. So any soul that died in Zodiark returned to the souls that were in him returns to the Ethereal Sea, at least the ones on the source. And those of any reflection that has an Ethereal Sea, the souls return to it. However, the implication is that they were all began to break down afterwards. They let themselves. Uh-oh. I see that there's the technical issue. Loop, the reason they would break down is explained to you in the story, because they If the ancients do not pass on and let their world fade so the new world can be, it's going to react. This conflict's going to happen again. Brief blip, but it's fine. Okay. On my screen, it's still saying it's bad, but I don't know what's wrong with it. Oh, you know what? I think I do know what. Let me know. Okay, yeah. Okay, the problem was my router fell off my table where it was next to the air conditioning, and so it started overheating. Okay. So, again, Loop. The problem is that infinite life is not a good thing, necessarily. And, the old world had to let go of their past. Their friends, the world they knew and loved, is never going to come back. It's never going to be like it was. And it's letting the world, and that those who inherited the new world, let them find their way and not just keep this endless cycle going, right? Question, are the Ancient Souls just chilling in the Ethereal Sea? The ones that we know that return from Zodiark are in the Ethereal Sea currently and breaking down. Again, we'll get to that over the course of today. Now that things are fixed. Looks okay for me. Thank you, I'm daft. Yeah. But without the Paragon, not really. I just had to tell YouTube stop dropping. Yeah. The Lesser Ascians. As far as we know, all the Black Masks have been dealt with. There may be more, but as far as we know, the Black Masks have been dealt with thanks to Shadowhunter. Not feeling any ill effects from the Aetioscope, are you? After playing some test subjects for those new Aetherites, even the mention of Aether sickness makes me feel a little queasy. While the forum is not here in its entirety, to brood and glare at us, Master Brandon's presence alone is enough to put me on edge. Gods, I can hardly believe the Loperites managed to find Medion out there hidden among the stars. The sheer distance involved are mind-boggling. Before coming, I thought to inquire after our comrades aboard. It seems that the effects of the final days have been observed further and further north of Garlemald. For a blessing, those regions are largely uninhabited. But in any event, we mustn't misinterpret this as a geographical spread. There's no telling where in the world the phenomena will strike next, unfortunately. What took you so long? We have much to discuss and scant time to do it. If you would know the reason for this assembly, you had better ask Master Levior. Van Daniel was a problem, right. Well, and Van Daniel was a problem for different reasons, but for instance, the, if any of the, Sundered Ascians remain, like Dudelaphon, or like any Emeraloth and those guys, or, actually, was Emeraloth from dealt with in, but anyways, you get my point. They could still perpetuate conflict, even though they're way too uniform. I want to say purple, but it made my message to a smiley sad face. Yeah. A few X-Ascians at some point later on. Yeah. It's definitely possible. Good color for a baby Kraken miniature. That is a random question. Router fell off plus L plus ratio. Also, if the power randomly shuts off, I've been having some power problems in my house today because apparently power issues follow me everywhere. We'll try to pick the stream back up, but that is why.
Everyone appears to be present and accounted for. Good. As you know, the Loporrits have deduced the whereabouts of Medion by means of a crystal bequeathed to us by Hydaelyn herself. Your quarry's location is a place far beyond the moon, the farthest reaches of the Sea of Stars, at the edge of creation. A veritable Ultima Thule.
Ultima Thule is an old term, by the way, that means like the edge of the map, the Here Be Monsters regions. So the place beyond what's charted.
Indeed. Then how are we to reach it?
An excellent question. Lucky for you, I have an equally excellent answer. In theory, with its advanced propulsion systems, the moon is capable of delivering you to Ultima Thule, but the myriad of other facilities hosted within would greatly impede travel through the Sea of Stars. Even the Mother Crystal may not possess enough ether enough to bear so massive a vessel to our destination and back. However, if we integrate our hyper hopper into your aether burner, we should be able to fire things up and jump our way to the end of the universe in no time.
Stream seems good on my end. I don't know what's on. Sorry, guys.
Father, does this mean... Bear in mind this decision was not made solely at my discretion, with the consent of the Forum. Hearing the Loporrits' proposal, the Forum is faced with a grave decision. To commit the Ark to this endeavor would mean abandoning both our plans to evacuate to the moon and to resettle on another star. Needless to say, the proposition invited fierce debate. In the end, however, the Forum was swayed by the simple fact that Hydaelyn believed you possessed of the strength needed to overcome this crisis. The Great Exodus was, after all, a plan of Hydaelyn's own making. Therefore, if in the 11th hour she would proffer another means by which we'd seek salvation, we would be fools to dismiss it out of hand. Indeed, she sacrificed everything, her very existence, to avert the destruction of this star. This is why we have chosen to place our faith in Hydaelyn, in you. The Ark will be made ready for your voyage to Ultima Thule.
What of all the people that have labored so tirelessly to prepare for the evacuation? They must be furious.
I would not be so sure. They have not forgotten your deeds on the Magna Glacius, nor did your instrumental role in orchestrating the delivery of adamantite go unnoticed. No, people do not protest. Quite on the contrary, they have expressed unwavering support for you and your mission. Are the Loporrits too willing to abandon the Exodus?
Were you not listening when we said we were born of Hydaelyn's love for Atheris and its people? If it means your survival, we would do anything to help. And you'll most certainly have need of our expertise where you're going. There's no guarantee Ultima Thule is a place that supports life, an otherwise vexing problem our know-how can remedy. Besides, Hydaelyn chose us to lead the way to Medion. Why would she give you crystal only we can decipher? But more importantly, we were perfectly content to evacuate Atheris until you brought us here, Eorzean, and now we're enamored with this place, so what choice do we have but to save it?
Eorzean over here giving the Loporrits a stake in the fight.
Of course none of this is possible without you and the Scions, so I must ask, are you certain you wish to do this?
We'll avert the final days, whatever it takes.
Very well. We shall inform the Forum of your decision and begin preparation to bolster the Ark with the, Hyper Hopper. The Loporrits will coordinate with the Ilsabardian contingents to have the necessary components transported via the Tower of Babel. Of course, it will take time until the work is complete.
For now, pray, take your ease. It would seem there's naught to do but rest and prepare. Shall we? Yeah, I would be surprised if we never get an answer or like a meaningful follow-up in some small way to the question of what happened to the other sundered convocation members that aren't unaccounted for, like Dudelafon, Ultima, Almarot, Pasturot, and then I think Emeraloth, if I'm not mistaken, is the one with Eureka. Oh, good, Lynn. It's good to know that they're streaming. Make sure to go check out their live stream.
No need to worry about lending a hand with the hyperhopper. We already have more than enough help, so go and relax while you still can.
There's much to be done before the Ark can be made ready for your voyage. I could be afforded time to speak with Alfino and Alice. Alas, I could but pray they find a moment of quiet calm before the journey.
Stepping on the forums table.
Welcome back, Kiko. But yeah, I definitely would be. I definitely would be kind of sad if we never get an answer to what happened to the Assassins. Honestly, even if maybe they just toss an EE3, but also someone would have had to have destroyed them. I mean, they may just be over on other reflections or something.
I wasn't expecting to have time on our hands. What should we do? In all honesty, I didn't think the forum would approve this measure, and certainly not by such a large margin. I dare say, though, that Master of Poshnell's passionate recounting of your audience with Hydaelyn's helped sway the vote. He has a way with words, after all. Where did you think Alfino got it from?
A rare opportunity to rest. I say we make the most of it.
I should very much like to speak with the Loporans when their work is complete.
It is plain Hydaelyn has entrusted them with a great deal of knowledge, and I suspect there is more they can teach us. The Forum hath placed the fate of mankind in our hands. We must not betray their faith. They bid us rest, but I'd much rather find something productive to do. Suppose now is a good time as any to hone my lance. Not that I've ever found it to be dull. Still, eases my mind on the eve of battle.
Perhaps now I can finish that book I was reading. What? Oh, maybe you don't mind. I'm sure you have better things to do with the time afforded to us.
%, lady. I mean, 14 as a whole, like, thematically, I think has, like, meandered its way towards what its ultimate point is, but, like, I think is kind of still also kept at the crux, for sure. E3, Hamrat was getting groceries in the 7th slain by a random bypass. Ere we depart, we must leave nothing undone. Quite. Though it's difficult to conceive of how one can be best prepared to brave a domain where Dynamis governs all. Nevertheless, Hydaelyn deemed us worthy of the trials that await. For lack of any other feasible option at this late stage, let us trust in her judgment, face Medion as we are.
Which leaves the not-so-small task of coordinating our efforts here to you, Tataru. You and Tataru. If all goes to plan, we'll be back before you know it. I certainly hope so. We'll be praying for your safe return. Mayhap it'll affect the Dynamis for the better. With that settled, we should get some rest and make the most of our time we've been afforded. The meeting's over, isn't it? You were in there for so long, I started to worry. What did they have to say?
Basically, what is our ultimate decision about saving the star?
The edge of creation, I see. Rest assured, everything will remain in order until you return. And you will return. Actually, Elio, could I borrow you for a moment?
Looks like your plans for the interim are decided. When the two of you have finished, meet us back at the Baldesian Annex, alright?
Come with me to the Agora. I have something to show you.
AC, good to glad to have you. I feel like that answers itself, AC, honestly. Only if it tastes horrible. Ah, crap. Oh, NSK, did you message me about how to fix it? Yeah, okay. Thanks, Lynn. Typically what happens when you can change drives and forward you're running 14s. One of those 14 was programmed in the Dark Age and a lot of them. The best way to fix it is do what you were doing, upload your sync file and delete it. Cool. That usually fixes it. Okay, cool. Sweet. Thanks, Lynn. I'd like it if we had the story about a couple of the Asians trying to reintegrate into society now that the Unsundered are gone. Perhaps a couple choosing to remove their memories or prehistory. Oh, hello, Deadpool. The boy just broke down the door. He wants to say hi to you guys.
Deadpool, come here.
Oh, yeah. Come on. Oh. You're a very good boy, but leave it to people. Oh my god! TV, thank you for the 10 Eorzean Archives memberships! Adrian, enjoy. Also, Adrian, good to see you. Glad to have you. Enjoy your emote. Des, enjoy our. Des, you already got emotes. Crepe, enjoy emotes. Cameron, enjoy emotes. Riddy, enjoy emotes. Astriel, enjoy emotes. Amora, enjoy emotes. Jackson, Aaron, Professor, Riddy, and yeah. Quinn. Damn, they all miss me. Oblivion, there's a setting you have to turn on in order for you to potentially get it. Just so you know. So it may be the reason you didn't get it is because you don't have it turned on. Yeah, isn't enabled in the UK yet. Yep. I'm pretty sure you can enable it. I think you might just have to manually do it because I'm pretty sure like we have multiple UK people who have it turned on. Thank you so much. Again, Lynn, thank you so much for that fix. That's, man, I feel so naked. Now y'all can see my down here. Well, let's enjoy your like my emote shortcut, my job shortcut. Okay. Where the motherfucking hell were we? Oh, right, Tataru. Yeah, Ray, just how you remind me of high school chemistry class. Umino has finally escaped it. Now we just need to find a chat. Yeah, I have been using Stream Elements currently, but yeah, we're gonna have to figure out something new. But then again, you know, we're running up on the end of 6.0. Coming up on the end, maybe now's a good time for a change. What is the Elio's return button? Well, you can now. Also, this may be one of the last times I do Tataru. Well, no, because we'll have her for side quests and stuff. But like, one of the last times we'll be doing it in Endwalker. Oh, welcome, Elio, to Taru's Boutique. I've always done my best to provide the Scions with fashionable attire, but in your case specifically, I make an extra effort to strive for the most functional, yet stylish clothing one could ask for. Not that I'm paying favorites, but you are the Warrior of Light. Faced with this unprecedented crisis, I know you wouldn't need an ensemble unlike anything I've created before, and I wouldn't be able to do it alone. And so, after enlisting the aid of the world's finest artisans, I finally completed my career-defining masterpiece. But then inspiration struck and I saw a golden opportunity just begging to be seized. With the help of some Thavnarian refugees, I decided to set up shore here in Sharlayan. Of course, I would never charge you for any of our works. Perish the thought. For Saruda, how are the things coming along? Everything is in order, Master Tataru. We'll be ready to open shortly. Oh, Kiko, thank you for the $20. Congrats for the text fixes. No, thank you guys for helping me figure it out. Seriously. I don't know about you guys, but my thing is like, as long as things get fixed, I feel like instantly better. Like as long as the problem like got solved, I'm like, whew, cool. Atelier, good to you, glad to have you. Been a long while. What's up? Well, we're in our penultimate episode of Endwalker. That's what's up. And you just missed a whole heap load of tech issues. Which is why I brought you here, to be our very first patron. Would you mind waiting here a moment longer? Okay, guys. It's coming. The armor of a champion. Ah, I did not expect to find you here. Oh, I did not expect to find you here. I'm also just glad the issue was software, the overlay, rather than something on the hardware end. Also, right now, so one of the things you may have seen me earlier, although for those of you who are watching this, if I cut out the section, you wouldn't know. My partner has a, where I don't even know where, it's over there. Has like a mechanical hand fan thing that like, it's like a, you know those air compressor bottles? It's one of those, but it blasts air mechanically so it can like pull it in. And I basically took my computer, turned it around so it was being blasted cool air from the AC unit over in the wall. So that way, because I wasn't sure if maybe something was overheating. And then I was also blasting it with air from the fan to like get it through, to like try and get some more airflow going. It was definitely a sight for sure. I imagine Nidana would also wish to offer her regards. Alas, after delivering our dragon skills to the engineers, she remained to assist with their work on the Aetherburner. This simulacrum too will stay in Sharlayan, while I oversee matters in Razatan. It is a rather convenient means to keep abreast of developments pertaining to the final days, or anything else. It also allows me, after a fashion, to watch over my people in this distant land. Vershawn, I was hoping you'd stop by. I can't thank you enough for allowing your artisans to work with me here at the boutique. Please, it is I who should be thanking you. This establishment has restored a sense of normalcy to their lives. You have blessed them with a newfound purpose and a means by which to support themselves in these troubled times. What's more, when they are returned home to Razatan, the experience and knowledge they have gained in your employ will no doubt prove a boon in the artistry and commerce of our land. In fact, I came here to see how your new employees are settling in, and to express my gratitude for granting them this opportunity. It's an opportunity for me as well, believe you me. Your artisans have taught me so much about Thavnarian craftsmanship. The resourcefulness and ingenuity are nothing short of inspiring. I can't wait to see what kind of wonders we come up with. I pray your every success in your endeavors, Master Sataru. Before coming here, I had word of the forum's decision, of what will soon be attempted. It was only then that I finally understood why my father called this star the last bastion of hope. Indeed, it was the last bastion, for the flame of every other star he encountered had likely been extinguished. So remember, Midgard Summer sailed through the Sea of Stars, and every planet he found on the way other than ours was dead already. In the boundless dark, the light of brimming life must have been blinding in its splendor. You journey onto the heavens to protect that light. May the skills of my kin serve you well. I have faith you will prevail and restore peace and tranquility to the star. Ooh. See, I'm torn by this one because, again, I'd rather respect Arawan by loving the city that he loved. I would like to visit Razatan again when all this is over, and we should be honored to receive you. There's still much of Razatan you have yet to see. And forgive me, I must take my leave. Fare you well, and remember, the people of this star have not yet given up hope, and neither must you. Yeah, right, Atelier. And we've also, I'm coming up with some plans. I may stream, I think my plan will be, maybe in the short term, switch over to doing some streaming on Twitch because, so we don't have we have problems where like the analytics get messed up for streaming here. And then I think in the future, what we'll do is we'll always stream day and date stuff here of like when a new patch comes out on YouTube. And then we'll stream, maybe we'll stream 7.0 and like when we ever do patch on the MSQ roleplay. But when we do side content and stuff, or if we do like, hey, I want to do an entire day we're doing nothing but mentor roulettes and doing those together to like farm the mentor roulette mount or something, or if we wanted to play 14 together, or if we want to do MMOs, if we want to do Eureka, we could just be doing that regularly over on Twitch, because then we don't have the problem of its analytics fucking like the thing's getting messed up. Ugh, where must I go to get a meal with some flavor in this wasteland of taste? Oh, where must I go to get a meal with flavor in this wasteland of taste? Oh, Emmanuelane. For some reason I thought it was gonna be Sicard. Elio, old boy. My, whatever are you doing here? I kind of live/work here currently. A new boutique, you say? I'd been meaning to expand my wardrobe. Yes, something with a little more flair, perhaps, befitting a man of my station. Though I have nowhere to flaunt said raiments, so long as my confinement continues indefinitely. I, the young Lord Fortomps, insist that so long as there is work to be done, no matter how trivial, I must abide here in Sharlayan. Thus do I toil, though every fiber of my being rails against it. Why, I've even suffered the company of that brute Sicard to see supplies transported in a timely fashion. Yet he was the one granted leave this morning to participate in some supposed covert operation. So I suffer instead for his otherwise welcome absence. Now burdened with extra busy work, and without Honoroy here, there's no one to prepare my meals. I came here in the hopes of finding a nice cafe. Perhaps. Alas, the Sharlayan delicacies I have sampled were lacking in every respect. If you're interested in a hearty meal, why not check out The Last Stand? The cafe over on the pier, their cuisine didn't appear all that appetizing, but if you vouch for the cooking, then perhaps I'll give it a try. Thank you for the suggestion. Ta-ta for now, old boy. I'm not cruel, Ray Ray. I wasn't going to send him after the Archon loaf. I am the good... Dude, I'm the motherfucker who plays lawful good paladin in D&D. I'm that asshole. I'm the guy who every time I start a game that has like Paragon and Renegade or good and evil alignments as an option, I like my second time through, I'm like, okay, this time I'm gonna do an evil version. And then I end up doing a good version again. I'm like, then I eventually play it a third time through at some point in my life, and I'm like, this time I'm gonna do the evil version and still play good alignment. Well, well, is that Alio and Tataru I spy? Well, well. Oh, Hancock. Hancock, what are you still doing here? You said you were returning immediately after dropping off your cargo. Yes, that was originally my plan. After all, my expertise required aside from the delivery of goods is well beyond my purview. But what manner of entrepreneur would squander an opportunity to study the markets of the northern seas? Worry not, I will return straightways to Kugane once I have finished. Oh, of course you would find a way to turn this crisis to your advantage. She wounds me, the industrious woman running a new boutique. I am not blind to the travails of those who fight on the front lines to deliver us from ruin. Indeed, I have every confidence that they will succeed, and I would make myself, and my business, ready for the return. If you believe in them so devoutly, then why not put your money where your mouth is? Fair enough, Tataru, fair enough. There is not more I can do to help ready the Ark and her heroes from the maiden voyage, but on your return, I shall host a grand celebration in your honor at the Bokairo Inn. Accommodations are quite costly, given the reputation of said establishment, but the East Aldenard Trading Company would be honored to foot the bill. I wonder if they're going to do that with Mount Romcon. I appreciate the gesture, but I'd rather not be in your pocket. A pity. I'm rather fond of the place myself, and nevertheless, I have no doubt we will find another time and cause for celebration soon enough. But let us speak more on this upon your return, lest I draw even more of Tataru's ire. Until next we meet. Jane, as they say. It's not so much Mara as Sherlo. Ah, Elio, decided to spend your time in the markets, did you?
Oh, Elio, decided to spend your time at the markets, did you?
Oh, things aloft.
Oh, Tataru! Big Swedge, I take it you work on the Arca proceeds apace. Aye, he does indeed. Collaborating with the greatest minds of Sharlayan and Razatan has been a rewarding experience. Not to say nothing of what we've learned from the Lubrits. The Ark is unlike anything we've ever had the pleasure to work on. Even Nero was rendered speechless on more than one occasion. I can't wait for you to see it.
And you'll never guess what paid us a visit before we came to Sharlayan. Alpha. I think he sensed the coming danger and returned to check on us. He was always one to turn up in time of need, and I suppose that's why he decided to join us here in Sharlayan. Good thing too, I don't know how he does it, but he has a knack for brightening your day just by being there.
It's still hard to believe we had the means to send you off to the great expanse, though. To the furthest known reaches of, well, everything. I never thought I'd live to see such marvel. Yet, here I am. More often than not, you and the Scions are the catalyst that sparks the need for these great innovations. To think how much I've missed out on and had not been a member of the Ironworks.
An awful lot of work, to be fair, and the privilege of being worked like a cart chocobo. Oh, my aching backside.
Ah, there's that too, eh? As busy as we've been, I wish there was more we could do for you, Leo. But no matter what happens, we have to keep believing for a brighter future.
That we do, and one filled with even more adventure.
When you head back, would you tell the engineers I'll be along shortly with refreshments? That's very kind of you, Tataru. They'll be glad to hear it. And on that note, Wedge and I should get going. Still, a few more supplies to gather before we return.
I don't know why that... Man, if you had told me that some of my favorite characters to voice for this were going to be, like, Biggs, I would not have expected it. And Emmanuel?
Terribly sorry for the wait. Right this way if you please.
If you remember her from our time in Thavner. During the final days. I think you guys pointed out before.
Right, I don't believe the two of you have been formally introduced. This is Varsruda, and from Palka Sand.
Don't you know?
Have we met before? Ah, yes, it was you who helped us at Perusia. And again, when crossing the ice fields, was it not?
Oh, she was there, yeah.
I doubt we exchanged little more than a glance then, but it is kind of you to remember me. Thanks to Mistress Tataru, I and many of my friends have found gainful employment in this foreign land. It is only natural to feel fear in the face of calamity. In such times, we must look to one another for strength and succor. I know not whether we will come to call this place home or return to Thavner, but we are here today and are glad to have contributed to the cause.
And contribute they did, by helping to make your new garments as durable as possible. We put our hearts and soul into them, and I have every confidence they'll keep you safe in the battle to come.
Gods, to think how far we've come since our humble beginnings at the Waking Sand. From rising stones to the falling snows, and even a certain insufferable someone's Ruby Bazaar, we were always fortunate to find friends along the way. Even when you were swept away to the first, Grahatia was there to grant you sanctuary. I'll never forget the relief I felt when you all returned to us. I thought my heart would burst. Yours has been a long, long journey, and I've been privileged to watch often with bated breath as you persevered time and time again. For all the joy we shared, there's been much sorrow as well, but I've long since learned you can't have one without the other. Which is why I promise to send you off to the Sea of Stars with a smile. And you can be certain I'll be the first one to welcome you back on your return.
God, I love that you can see the aurora at night in Sharlayan because you're so far north. Yeah, totally. I love like Wedge being having a crush on Tataru. My Reaper's of Evil. My first evil character last night. Perfect timing, Des. People from Thavner must be freezing here, less Garmal. Well, you know, as much as it sometimes snows, the impression I get is that Sharlayan is very temperate. I mean, that's also the description of it that we have in the books. Is like, it's not... Like, they have cold winds that will sometimes come in from the north. But it's kind of like how Greenland... Like, if you've ever been to Greenland during the summer, and Greenland or Iceland and Greenland during the summer, they're like, really, they can be very temperate. But then again, usually I'm forever DM, so it's rare I even get to make character. Aw. By wearing warm clothes. Another cute thing in the German version, almost every scion calls the cat boy Raha. Oh, that's interesting. It's interesting that they don't have that they only do it, have certain characters do it in English, but have it. I wonder if there's like just like an implication of German where like, because of how the language is structured, it's actually really useful to make sure they use the more like informal version to like make that very clear. Very Baltic Sea, yeah. Wait, how did I never notice the aurora before just now? The reason I pointed out Raven is because so many people I've pointed that out to before have like been playing this game forever and just never noticed. Island of Ham seems most unstable. Water is freezing and have ice, but peaks are green and blooming. Right, well, and Ham is the northern island, if I'm not... Ham, southern, and Yorn. So of them, I'm pretty sure Ham is the most northern one, too. And also, like, it's probably getting ice flows in from the like, up in, like, Airslinged and stuff. So that's probably why it's, like, you know, on the cusp. And also the thing is there can be regional temperatures rather than just like seasonal temperatures in the world of Final Fantasy XIV and like on Atheris, it seems. In addition to your new ensemble, we have raiments and weaponry for every need, so please feel free to browse our stock. Okay, guys, you ready for the final look of Endwalker? You ready for one smexy smellizin? Ran out of pants space. I need to clean up Elio's inventory. Well, I meant to be in battle pose, but honestly, this will work too. Elio's ready to go. That a smell is in. That smells. I mean, do we have any canon confirmation that years and seasons on theirs are similar in length to Earth years? There is in 1.0 lore. Kind of that, but also seasons don't seem to exist. Like, they use the term, like, autumn and stuff. It's not consistent. And, like, for instance, periods of time come around, like, the winters, like, starlight and stuff. So, like, there clearly are kind of seasons, but also there aren't. And it's not clear how much of that is a byproduct of lore or a byproduct of technical limitations where they don't want to worry about having 4 different seasons on Atheris. Depends on which point of whether you ask the lore or the game. Lore, probably. Game, no. Guys, my favorite paladin armor is just regal enough for battered and well-worn. I mean, it is the best paladin armor, like, just not even a contest. It's the level of detail is such a bump up, and it's like, yeah. Oh, it's so good. Leo is ready to Ella go. I love that. I'm not a big fan of heavy plate armor, personally I am, but yeah, but I really like the swords called Lightbringer and the Dark Sword Shadowbringers. Yeah. And then Hero's Shield. I will say, if you are a fan of plate armor, it's great. And then also I love its cape and then a hood. Plate armor with cape and a hood, like this is just like maybe the perfect profile of armor for me.
I realize you've still got lots to do before you depart, so I won't keep you any longer. I do hope you can find a moment for yourself, that the others can as well. They said they're returning to the Baldezian Annex, though I'll doubt they'll stay for long. If you decide to go looking for them, I suggest you speak with Cryo first, but I'm sure they would have told her their plans.
Capes plus tails. Suffer. Do you honestly... What I kind of wish is that you just had an option to, like, toggle tail. Like, one, I wish that toggle visor did more things for more gear. And then there should just be an option that's, like, toggle tail for, like, gear, for, like, clipping. I do wish you could put the hood up, like, in the trailer. Yeah. Well, it's interesting, because that's not... He's not wearing the same... hood, right? In the trailer, they don't actually have him with the hood up. They have him wearing another cloak on top of it that then he takes off. Is the Paladin armor the only one that has the cowboy spurs for paladins? Yes, I'm pretty sure none of the others do. If you don't know what they're talking about, you can see the cowboy spears down here. It should be toggle cape. I mean, toggle cape's fair too. The problem is that they'd have to probably, like, for a lot of that thing that, like, for instance, if you toggled the cape on here, well, I mean, it looks like it's attached in here, so that might still work.
You're back. I take it you received your gift from Tataru.
Ready? Have you seen my new outfit?
It was a surprise long in the making. With many, many long hours of fretting to get everything just right, I'm glad to see it realized and with great success. If you're looking for the others, though, they've already taken their leave. Y'shtola, Thancred, and Eorzean have gone to the last stand to get a bite to eat. Alice and Grahatia, meanwhile, thought their time would be better spent poring over the books in Numenon. As for Alphino and Estinian, well, they've elected to pay a visit to Levior Estate, though Estinian seemed somewhat reluctant to go. I'm sure they'd all be glad for your company, if you wouldn't mind seeking them out. Should you feel a bit peckish, I'd suggest heading to the last stand before Y'shtola and the others finish eating. But above all else, it'd be foolish to run headlong into the battle as a fatigued mess, so do remember to get a good night's sleep.
Maybe this Mikote knows how to tuck. I was just thinking they do what, like, the Saiyans do in Dragon Ball Z, right? Like, they wrap their tails around them like they do their monkey tails. So to be a nerd for a moment, yeah, the current way the armor system is done wouldn't allow you to put the hood up. It has to be a separate version that covers both slots.
Ah.
Yep, that makes sense. That's why I tend to also be very much like, sometimes they haven't done a thing because the effort involved is not, like, the amount of time to making it reality, or sometimes it's just it's not a thing that they realize it's super important to get done. But, like, more often than not, there's, like, a reason behind it, you know?
Try as she might, Tataru had no chance of standing between you and a hearty meal. Don't worry, we saved some for you. Hast thou perchance had an opportunity to partake of the rainbow pudding? Owing to its striking flavor and somewhat garish appearance, it is quite popular, indeed. So popular that the last stand stock hath been entirely exhausted. I should hope, at the very least, Puddingway did sup upon the most delectable of desserts.
Elio, come to make our trio quartet, have you? Please have a seat, and we'll see about getting you a drink.
Your business with Tataru is finished.
Yeah, that's where I got the new duds from.
My, what a thoughtful surprise. What effort would we do without her?
Indeed. And she's right, you know. It hasn't been all doom and gloom.
Feels like a lifetime ago that Master Louis Soir gathered us together to form the Circle of Knowing. Since then, we have experienced much. But rather than feeling wiser, the more I learn, the more I find my knowledge lacking.
Ain't that how it goes?
Forsooth. As a student, vainly did I believe that I held the secrets of creation in my grasp. Yet that which I had seized was but an insignificant sliver of what awaited in the wider world. Every encounter, every experience hath served to open mine eyes, enlightening and humbling me in equal measure. Even from those whom I called enemies have I learned many a valuable lesson.
What will we learn at the edge of the universe, I wonder?
Ultima Thule, where the bringer of the end makes her nest. I, for one, can't possibly imagine. But whatever awaits us there, we will survive. We must. For her.
Oh, those are both really good options. We'll get through this together.
Gods, it feels like only yesterday that we went on that mission to Drybone. We've both changed much since then, have we not?
We've come far together, and if we have aught to say about it, we'll go further still. Aye, we will avert this calamity and return home. In preparation for which, we must give thought to what we hope to achieve after the proverbial dust has settled.
What with the primals and Ascians all but dealt with, I suppose we'll need to look for new hobbies. In all seriousness, though, in uniting to overcome a common foe, the disparate peoples of the world have found a way forward together. It's a truly gratifying sight to see.
Indeed. Though it was many years in the making, we have successfully set in motion the gears of fundamental change. With this, we have fulfilled our humble role as a symbol of hope. And I dare say it is time to bow out. After all, there is no shortage of hands to bear the torch in our stead.
You know, I never really considered I might live long enough to see an after. But even if my time as a scion came to an end, I don't expect that much will change. Traveling the world, going wherever the wind blows, lending a hand to those in need.
A journey for journey's sake. It doth suit thee well. I must confess, I too have yearned to see more of the world. If thou art amenable to the suggestion, I would accompany thee. Mine ability to effect an air of normalcy through artful disguise is much improved, thou must concede.
Aye, well, improvement is relative. You still look suspicious no matter what you wear.
It's true.
What of you, Ishtola? Any grand plans?
Why, continue my quest for knowledge, naturally. To begin with, I wish to know the state of the reflections, To which end I must find a means to travel between worlds. 'Tis the
Literally
least I must
stated
do
that.
if I am to keep my promise.
See? Literally. Okay, like, anyone who's questioning about her wanting to go back to see Runar,
Should
like,
my
it's
pursuit
so
prove unduly
explicit.
arduous, I won't hesitate to call on you. And in return, I will take you to see Reen one day. I'm sure you cannot wait to see the fine young woman she has become.
Spare me.
And what of thee? What wouldst thou pursue at duty's end?
Here's yours. My apologies for the wait.
Well, shall we make a toast? To victory.
To our comrades.
To the future of the star.
Past, present, and future. God, I love this moment. It's not a moment that needs to go somewhere. It's just a moment between friends. It's so perfect. Genuinely, it makes me like, honestly, even just that scene makes me a little emotional because it's such a, yeah, just a small moment between friends. You can always count on your friends to help you maintain the perspective. Pity mine take a perverse pleasure in it. I'd like to think I'm as give as good as I get, though I fare better with the occasional assist from our consummate nodder. But it's all good and fun. I wouldn't have it any other way. I say, Elio, whence came this simulacrum that standeth beside thee? Oriange, are you okay? I see falsely. But you stole and Thancred but moments ago employed the self-same doubling magics. Alright then, keep thy secrets. Leaving so soon. I suppose it's for the best. You'd rather not explore the bottom of a bottle with Oriange. I dare say the others would welcome your company as well. You can find them, that is. In any case, as long as you make the most of your time, then that is all that matters. Oriange handles it. Good, Mizugo, I'm glad. Deeply appreciate that this game has the balls to allow its characters to just hang out. Yeah, to just be. There's a school thinking that says that unless it advances the plot, it's unnecessary, but I disagree. Yeah, I think the thing about 14 is that 14 not only does that, but I think also I really recognize this in playing 16 recently, that like 14 takes advantage of being an MMO, which means that small moments are easier to have because you have a much larger continuing story, ever evolving, advancing. So you have to have small moments because you can't just be at max all the time, you know? Great, it's good to see, glad to have you. I would say that part is absolutely necessary to the plot. It makes what it comes. Yeah, I would agree. So, but here's the thing, Chris. It's not necessary to the plot, but it is necessary to making the plot emotionally land. Which, I mean, I like, that's a quibble, right? Like that effectively, maybe you could argue semantics, right? But it's only true if you're concerned about the emotions of the plot rather than the literal cause and effect of it, right? Because from a literalist standpoint, you don't need it for the series of events that take place next to make logical sense, right? But I'm totally with you, totally. If I remember correctly for the dialogue choice with Thancred, if you give him the line about not having to prove himself to anyone, he's actually a bit ignorant about it. Yeah, he is. I think I remember choosing that the first time through. Moment always makes me happy. Oh, that dwarf game, that'd be cute. How many people blew their life savings thinking that the world was going to end? Yeah. How this would have felt for players that have been in the game for years as opposed to a 3-month binge. Well, I'll tell you, Misigo, as a player who had been playing this for years at the point at which this felt like such a culmination and climax of the journey. Like this, to me, Endwalker was like such a, like, perfect finale. Also, Bastros, good to see you, glad to have you. I see there's some people who popped in chat late. Endwalker was the perfect finale for me. Like, the thing is, if 14 had, like, been like, and we're shutting down after Endwalker, in terms of, like, narratively, like, I mean, I would have been sad and I would have wanted more and stuff, but, like, I was satisfied, right? It was the perfect, for me, culmination of the journey thus far. Yeah, I agree. It doesn't need to be plot momentum, but characterization or future setup by referencing are def important and important, purposeful, and of fundamental value to make something great. I don't, like, no question. I 100% inarguably. Yeah. Since YouTube, we're contractually say like, share, and subscribe. Just boop the like button. Thank you, Ray Ray. Yeah. Yeah, in my opinion, really, so if you didn't have the small moments, the big moments would mean less. Yeah, I mean, 100%. You can't make everything emotional payoff, right? If you have no emotional buildup, how do you have emotional payoff? But also, like, some people, what's really funny is that sometimes, and I've seen it happen, someone says they're annoyed by emotional buildup moments because they're like, oh, it's quiet, it's small, it's whatever. And then they get to the emotional payoff and they're like, it's in things that didn't have emotional buildup. I'm like, it just didn't land. It just didn't it didn't work. It's like, you can't have it both ways, you know? You have to, and honestly, usually it's young men, but it's like you have to have a journey to make the final step matter as a final step, you know? Or lick it. What? Surely this isn't the first time you've seen me without my armor. Technically not. This is not technically the first time we've seen him without his armor, though the last time would have been 3.3, and even then, we really didn't get to see him walk away without his armor, because he left. Like, he was out of it for the hospital bed, but, you know. God, I love this song.
What brings you here?
I was looking for you guys, thinking we could spend some time in these final moments.
So you were worried that the Levier household might again be gripped by turmoil. All is well, I assure you. In my letters home,
oh,
I
true,
made
Infinite.
mention of Estinian, you see. My mother wished to meet the legend in person, and so we arranged to have a spot of tea together.
Where were you in my hour of need? Fell beasts I can face, but I'm not made for idle chit-chat with lords and ladies.
Well, I for one thought you held your own. Mother was the picture of delight.
I might have been delighted myself, were we in a tavern with more agreeable drink. The thought of fleeing crossed my mind, but what then? I'd never hear the end of it, least of all from Tataru.
I'm sorry. 'Twas not my intent to cause you such distress. It's just, it was one of the things I didn't want to leave undone ere we set forth. That's not to say I think we won't be returning. Yet, given what lies ahead, I did not wish to leave for later that which I could do today. After all, tomorrow is never promised.
It's fine. Not like I had better things to do. Besides, seeing you with your mother brought back fond memories of my own. Be we rich or poor, family is family. Well, it's past time we were on our way.
Wait! Since I left home, I've made a great many mistakes. Mistakes for which I can never make amends. But through it all, you didn't give up on me. To have returned here with you at my side, it means more to me than you know. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart. Forgive me, but it needed to be said.
I'm the one who owes you thanks. Were it not for you, I would not be alive today, nor come to terms with Nidhogg's spirit. I am ever grateful.
You were never one to forsake a friend, Alphino.
No, I'm not. And I'm proud of that.
Just three Elzen boys being Elzen boys. A few of our comrades decided to remain a while in Sharlayan after making their deliveries. Did you happen to pass any on your way here? All that remains is to return to the annex and give my armor one last polish. I expect Alphino as maintenance to carry out on those floaty things of his, too. I ever nab the Aethernet shard? Nope. Never noticed Justinian's freckles till now. Yeah, the thing is that all the characters actually do have pores, but like, the game doesn't make them easy to see a lot of times. The Ryan in the trailer got me so worried. Yeah, and then seeing it there recontextualized for what that moment is. I wonder, is Emilia's capable of defending herself? I would doubt it. I think all her skill and tact goes into other places. Yeah, AC, definitely. Artillery. The thing is, next expansion won't top this, and that's fine. Yeah, I've definitely been saying that for well over a year. Because 7.0 is supposed to be, from what I assume, the ARR for the next big story arc. You know, it's interesting whether or not it'll be the ARR, because I think the thing is that, in a sense, it will be, but also it will be a continuation, right? Like, it's not like a wholesale soft reboot or something. So I think it will do double duty. It kind of depends on whether or not the 6.x stuff resolves itself by 6.55, or whether it's like the fundamental like conflict going into 7.0. Remember the launch trailer line from Alphino's putting in foot? Yeah. Elves are only conversations, and they say humans are too prevalent in fantasy. After this one on the 6.3 trailer. Yeah, so in general, do not ever trust your gut. Like, whatever your immediate response is to a trailer in 14, you have to assume they're fucking with you. You don't know how, and it's not just assume the opposite is the case, but they are excellent at fucking with the player base with their trailers. You know, a good example is the Shadowbringers gameplay trailer that had ends with Emmett's line of like Hydaelyn is the oldest and eldest of primals, right? Basically, which it seems like, oh my god, this is what? And like, either maybe wasn't surprising to some people because you already been assuming so, but the fact that they reveal it in the trailer, it's like, what? But the context is, in that conversation, Emmett Selk revealing that is actually the least major reveal, and also not actually that pertinent to like everything else. Yeah. Tease my brother about playing a human character in WoW. He's so now a Void Elf. Blood Elf Paladin, baby. Apparently I play them elves. I mean, It's a good question about world building, Oblivion. I mean, the thing is that what constitutes world building, like, is Shadowbringers was a bunch of world building, right? Like, every expansion has been a large amount of world building, so. Because Uminosa Alfie could have his taller moment. Oh, that's cute, Crepe, for giving Emelian's a straw hat. Was a Blood Elf, Pally, myself, and wow. Gotta love that Blood Elf Pally. Alice, are you okay? Try speaking with Alice, but she is fast asleep. Yeah, exactly, Ray. Good example of the CG trailer. And Thancred's statement about this place sure has changed, but not at all for the better. Oh, just sit down and take a moment to breathe and rest with them.
Oh. Knowing them, they're probably dreaming about the celestial adventures to come. Just as well. They've been running themselves ragged of late. Unlike you and the others, I'm a few steps removed from the danger and excitement. The things you all get up to never fail to impress me.
7.0 Kryl on the team.
I can't help but worry. Not only for your safety, but for your happiness. After everything you've sacrificed, you earned it 1,000 times over. From the simple pleasures of tucking into a hearty meal or collapsing into a comfortable bed, to the grand triumphs of visiting legendary lands or finding true love. You deserve all the joy in the world. There is so much that life has to offer, so much to be treasured and shared with those we hold dear. So promise me this. Come what may, you won't give up on your own happiness. When you're out there fighting tooth and nail, it's all too easy to forget. But in the end, your passions will be your greatest strength of all. Remember that.
This feels familiar.
Waking up to my face again?
'Tis good to be... wait. What am I... Gods, don't tell me I fell asleep.
Not that there's any shame in it, but you were sleeping like babies.
Oh, how embarrassing.
Not a word to anyone. Understood? Not one word. I'm told that sleeping in proper beds of your own choosing is a much more effective way to prepare for battle.
So, what were the two of you doing here?
I had a few books to return to the library. Thought I'd take care of it while I could.
And you?
Just enjoying a little peace and quiet. God, I want. We're gonna. Also, it isn't. Does her robe comes from the devout, right? Devout robe FF4. Well, there's the devout robe. There's the white version, right? There's something else too. Is it Summoner? Is it Summoner from FF4? Yeah, because there's a thing with the... Okay. Summoner... FF4 or 5? What is it? What am I thinking? Oh. No, because Summoner's got the horn in 4 and 5, right? Yeah, there's... I know it's based off of something. What is it? Maybe it is just the devout. I'm sure someone else will correct me if I'm wrong. Kitty cat robe with Kryla is from her white mage spray. Yeah. Devout. Yeah. So the 1 and 3. Sorry, did I say 4? I meant 3 and 5. Yes. Dinner break gladly made it through. Nice, Kiko. Kitty cat robe in general is devout from 3DS. Okay, cool. Gods, I didn't realize I was so tired. One moment I was resting my eyes, the next, I should go and get some air. Maybe a quick bout of training, but not sleep. I'll sleep when I'm dead. That's enough reading for one day. As we don't know how long we'll be away, I'd best return these books before we depart. And eat. I'm absolutely famished. What about you? I already ate with the others. I see. Perhaps I'll stop at the last stand on my way back. If nothing else, these two seem to be in good spirits. Still, I'll see them back to the annex for some proper rest, even if I have to drag them there by their ears. Their ears are easy to grasp. Yeah, I guess Eorzean and Miko ears are the particularly easy. Gotta love a mom friend. Everyone needs a mom friend. Oh, I think someone asked a while ago what robe I was wearing on Scholar. Did someone answer that question? I thought it was just the Scholar armor. But dyed with Cactar green. Welcome back, Elio. Return to catch a final few winks before embarking on your mission, I presume. You'll be happy to know your chambers have been cleaned and fresh linens laid out. I pray you enjoy the sweetest dreams of this final night before the big day. Oh my god, it's already 6:30? Jesus. That night at the Royal Menagerie in Alamigo. Suppose that's true, Infinite. Was it really 45 minutes? It felt like 5.
You will never get what you want. Not even the battle you pine for so dearly. In that transcendent moment, what was it that I sought in you? that you sought in me.
That was an interesting error. On all that edge. Back in Sharlayan. The final day arrives. That was his reperform loop.
How often have we thus assembled? To combine our knowledge and seek solutions to the problems before us.
Back at the Waking Sands, it was all we could do to address the most minor of troubles. Who could have realized what we'd find when we began to look to the sources of the realm's woes?
At the Rising Stones, we made great strides and shared many moments, from the joyous to the sorrowful.
We've had occasion to call other places home too. Be it Ishgard or Kugane, we were fortunate to find sanctuary wherein we might take stock and continue our fight.
I was honored to host this company in the Crystarium, to stand with you all as we confronted the truth of the star itself.
And now from this place, we go to fight the most important battle of all. The Forum has sent word. The Ark is ready. The Loporrits naturally will be commanding the vessel. They will see the 8 of you to Ultima Thule. Upon arriving, your objective is to find and vanquish Meteon. As a final formality, the Forum bade me ascertain your resolve. So, are you certain you wish to do this?
We are.
Then, ere you report to Thalmasane, I leave you with these words. You must triumph. What that means will differ for each of you. To make it back home, or to simply avert doom, or perhaps something else altogether. Yet whatever it is that drives you, I have faith in its power to see you through. So please, triumph. Triumph, as we who remain behind believe you will.
Oof. Man, all that
Let us be
nodding.
off then.
That one nod is more powerful than like Oof.
Wait! Both Kryl
Yeah,
and I
right.
will be there to see you off, but as your receptionist, I feel I need to say this here. Safe journey, all of you, and be safe.
You can count on it, Taru. We'll come back. Yeah, Des. You. The final map is Endwalker. Unto the heavens.
I suppose this is where we part ways. For now, at least. Would that I had sage words of wisdom to share ere you depart. Mayhap the teachings of Galif Baldesion will suffice. Surrender not to anger or hatred, he said. Look beyond them, and there find true strength. What one sees beyond is open to interpretation, I think. But for me, it would be the things I cherish most in life. Things I believe are worth fighting for. Something to consider as you venture onto the Sea of Stars.
Orem fails into the zone. It's a punishment. That's interesting, Dust. I used to get Orem Vale all the time. All the time. But these days I don't get it anymore. Brayflux Grand Pick Summons. Ooh. Oh, Meowza. Yeah, well, I've been seeing some smoke for the first time over here in New Hampshire. We simultaneously have been getting some smoke from wildfires and also flooding. It's been a wild day. Oh my god, so many people to talk to. Man is said to have feared what he does not know, yet you would venture unto the greatest of unknowns. I say to you, son of man, that you need not fear. So long as man shares a bond with our dragon kind, so too does he share a kinship with the heavens, and our ancient home amidst the stars infinite. I pray you go forth, and prove this bond of ours, tempered and tested, shall endure unbroken for 1,000 years. Alva appears to be cheering you on. Blur, blur. Miniature model of Omega appears to be staring intently at the Ark. First the great Exodus, and now this. It seems there is no end to our work. In truth, more than a few Gleaners were distressed to learn that their earlier efforts were for nothing. It was no easy task convincing them that the new plan was for the best. I can tell you that. I can't tell you every man believe that this is the wisest, of course. But, oh my god, now my, Varshan and Ehrenfeld. Chocobo? All will be forgiven. If you deliver us from the oncoming doom, and you don't, well, at least, you won't get an earful. I certainly will. It's troubling enough that the brute Sicard left without warning, leaving me to carry all those cumbersome containers. But that he failed to be present to send you off is absurd. What could possibly be more deserving of his attention at a time like this? It is no easy thing to say, leave the star to us, but we must and we will. As proud members of the Scions, we have a duty to uphold, and we need to do so alone.
Those dark days when we were driven from the rising stones and hunted as traitors are a thing of the past. We have allies in abundance now. Which is to say, you needn't worry about us. Go forth in the knowledge that the Scions will labor without rest in your absence. Hey, though our fellow Scions couldn't be here, they wanted me to tell you that no matter what calamity may befall us, they'll never give up, and neither should you. No matter how far you may go, we will be with you in spirit. No matter how dark it may seem, your light will shine and endure. Mistress Cry tells me of your investigations into the theories of Akasha and its relations to the final days, has made clear the source of our woes. I am elated to know my work was of some benefit, but I could not have shared it had you not rescued me from the tower that day. I yet owe you a great debt, one I may never fully repay, but I shall try nonetheless. Not only through my research, but through my desire to see you succeed, which I believe may influence the Akasha in our favor. Small though the effect may be, yes, so long as we have hope, there is a chance we may influence the outcome of this calamity. Remember, that's important. Emotions affect Dynamis. We were quite fortunate that the Hyper Hopper was based on the principles similar to those of aetherology. Integrating it with the Ark's existing systems might well have been impossible otherwise. You may have Sharlayan's wealth of knowledge at our disposal, but theirs is technology far beyond anything we have ever studied. You are familiar with teleportation magics, yes? The momentary conversion of the body into aether that it may travel via the lifestream from one physical point to another. Their Hyper Hopper enables transportation through a similar method, but not one involving the lifestream. Rather, it utilizes highly condensed aether to create an ethereal current of its own. This current is exponentially faster and more powerful than the naturally occurring ones to which we are accustomed. So much so, in fact, that the ethereal conversion of the physical form is not a prerequisite for traversal. If you are concerned about side effects such as ethereal sickness, you needn't be. You should emerge at your destination hale and whole, in theory. At the very least, I can assure you it is safer than the experimental aetherites you used to reach Razat Han. So basically it's creating an ethereal ley line of its own use to be able to travel where it wants to go. It's basically shooting a giant... Like, imagine you got a grappling thing, right? And it shoots the line out, and then you travel along that line. Brita has been on my mind more often of late. How different her life might have been if not for our research into teleportation magics. Perhaps she would have never gained an interest in aetherological studies. But to abandon our work out of misplaced guilt for who she could have been would be a disservice to the memory of who she was. Nay, it was because of her that we found the resolve to carry on. And now we stand at the edge of a new frontier, with a ship ready to bear you onto the distant stars and beyond. This arc is as much her accomplishment as it is ours. I regret nothing. So this is the ship that will bear us to Ultima Thule. That even with Sun and Bluita should be in attendance is most unexpected, but I am nonetheless heartened by their presence. For so many to see us off like this seems wholly unnecessary. Still, I'll not begrudge them for wishing us well. This is the pinnacle of aetherochemistry, a synthesis of modern innovation and the ancient wisdom of Alhag. The Ark's engines appear to be capable of processing condensed aether in quantities I've never thought possible. I wasn't expecting quite so many people to be seeing us off. They said the work on the Ark is finished, but you certainly wouldn't know by looking at it. Let us hear what Father has to say.
I'll send word to Alliance leaders the very moment the ship takes off. Obviously, they couldn't be here, but I'm sure they'll be cheering for you every step of the way.
Quite the turnout, wouldn't you say? Then again, who wouldn't want to be present for the once-in-a-lifetime event?
The Ark is missing one last but very crucial component. Before we are ready to take off, it should be arriving shortly.
Prelude!
All present and accounted for? Good. As you will have heard, the Ark is ready. All that remains is to board and be on your way.
I've seen my fair share of tight schedules, but this was bloody murder. But we did it. We finished the ship. It's safe, fit for purpose, and looks good to boot. Aye, it's a garland through and through.
I really don't know what we'd do without you. Thank you for everything.
Ah, don't mention it. Ever since that episode with Omega, I've been toying with the idea of star-faring vessels. And as they say, necessity is the mother of invention. We've learned a lot, let me tell you. In case you're wondering about payment, the ongoing existence of the world ought to do. But feel free to throw in a colorful recounting of your journey on your return. So, have you thought of a name?
A name? Wasn't everyone just calling it Father's teeny tiny toy boat?
Well, seeing as its purpose has changed, I thought a more eloquent name was in order. I suggested as much to Fortuneau, who seemed quite amenable to the idea.
As you know, this vessel is the culmination of heretofore unprecedented collaboration. And though said collaboration is owed to the Scions, there is another whose noble deeds made our work possible. From a fragment of Dalamud, we obtained not only advanced materials such as refined adamantite, but the knowledge to traverse the stars. And this fragment would not have found its way to us had the Archon Louisois not fought to protect this world, and in so doing, laid down his life. Now that the vessel stands complete, I cannot help but wonder if it was more than mere happenstance. If it was my father's intention to guide us here. In the hopes that his guidance will see you all safely home, I name the vessel after that self-same fragment of Dalamud he delivered unto us. The starship Ragnarok.
Sorry for the wait. I got everyone you asked for, and not a one less.
Oh, there's Sicard. That's what he was up to, right? All the leaders of the tribal groups.
What are you all doing here?
Oh, I invited them. The representatives of those tribes with religious inclinations. You've done a fine job of readying the Ragnarok, but for it to take flight, we'll of course need the power of the Mother Crystal. Given its immense size, however, transporting it would be an absolute logistical nightmare, not to mention we'd need to shatter it into tiny shards for feeding to the engines. But a brilliant idea came to me. We convert the crystal's energy into forms that can transport themselves!
Thou wouldst employ summoning, or should I say its precursor, creation magics.
Care to explain for our benefit?
As you may have witnessed at Bestway's Burrow, the Loperids are capable of creation magics, which they use to shape the moon's environment. Yet simple though they make it seem, 'tis a highly advanced and exacting art. To perform it correctly requireth that the wielder holdeth the object in his mind's eye in clearest detail.
Hence the ancients' meticulous management of concepts.
Drawing upon this art, the Ascians conceived of summoning as we know it. A derivative that replaceth the complexity of concepts with the simplicity of zealotry to make manifest a creation.
I see. By combining the Loporrit's magics and the tribe's faith, we convert the Mother Crystal into primals of purer form and greater obedience.
I just want to read that again. Drawing upon this art, the Ascians conceived of summoning as we know it. Derivative that replaceth the complexity of concepts with the simplicity of zealotry to make a manifestation of creation. And so they use that zealotry, which why inherently summoning becomes why the creatures that are inherently zealotous. Yeah.
Summoning as it was intended, one might say.
Indeed! Indeed! While Hydaelyn gave us the ability to use creation magics, she forbade us from using it to make anything possessed of a soul, or similar. She didn't say anything about fulfilling the desires of others, though. So, borrowing our friend's faith, we'll create deities using the Mother Crystal's power and send them to the Ragnarok!
Am I the only one here concerned about the risk of being turned into a tempered minion?
Oh, right, I was getting to that. From what I've read in Sharlayan tomes, it appears the Ascians incorporated an additional nasty element into their summoning method. The fervent desire to assimilate others into one's belief. Beings thus created are instilled with the self-same desire and use their powers to enthrall people, starting with the summoner. In contrast, our creation magics, the original and the best, except no substitutes, don't incorporate any of that rubbish, so there's no risk of tempering. I mean, if the being was on the scale of Zodiac, you might feel a little tug, but I think we'll be safe enough.
Truth be told, I do not understand the intricacies of this plan, but none of us would ever turn our backs on you. When the avatars of our faith ran amok, you intervened without decrying we who birthed them. Where others vilified and suppressed us, you offered understanding and friendship. In gratitude, we will share with you the true expressions of our gods. Not malevolent deities, but benevolent saviors.
Alright, you lot, we're heading to the ethereal sea. Stay in sight, else you're liable to get lost.
Lead the way.
May we have a moment? In anticipation of the day man might journey to the stars, we developed these.
Portable teleportation devices, one for each of you, designed to work in tandem. Press the button on one, and in a matter of moments, all 8 will activate and send their owners back to the Ragnarok. There is no telling what hazards you may encounter. If you find yourself separated or lost, please do not hesitate to use them.
So remember, you have to have that on you. You
Be
press it
safe,
and all of them.
all of you, and come back.
I love living way too. Brad, good to see glad to have you.
You as well. I pray you take care.
Agreed, Rag.
Looks like everything is in order, so I'll go ahead and board. A few of my fellow want for competent crewing.
The Namazu summoned what the Great
If you're
Kahuna? The
ready,
Big Kahuna?
Then you should board as well. Go. And Godspeed.
Because Namazu basically have the, kind of like what King Magamog is. This also places the idea that tempering never existed before Ascians, the conflict over whether Zodiac should have. No, because they even specify that Zodiac, something on the scale, literally even Living Waits said that, and also Emmett South mentioned that. We even in Endwalker had a line at some point from Emmett Selk about Zodiac and tempering, like in Endwalker thus far, in like one of his readings, right? I'm almost certain someone mentioned it. Oh, hey, thanks so much. So the stage is set. I can but hope we prepare to play our parts when we arrive on Ultima Thule. The key, I suspect, may lie within Hydaelyn's parting message to us. Darkness and light, despair and hope. As go one, so goes the other. Knowing Medion wields the power of despair, we must bring to bear hope in equal measure. You haven't forgotten anything, have you? No repairs or commissions? A delivery from retainers, perhaps? No? Well, if there's nothing else, have a safe journey. I have to remember to thank Tataru for the timely provisions of food and drink. Poor Wedge would have long since given up from exhaustion otherwise. But now the rest is up to you. Come back safe, alright? They do mention the Zodiac Tempers. I'm saying that this new lore about Ascians created tempering and screw the mortals seems to be... writing oversight. Oh, yes, yeah. Or, I don't think it's an oopsie. I think the Ascians... Because remember, for them, the primals were a tool to instill chaos that would allow the calamities, right? Even onto, like, what happened with Alag and the Warring Triad, right? So, I think it very wasn't... I don't think it was an oopsie. I think it was very intentional. The world cannot end now. Not when we have but scratched the surface of the operate's technological know-how. So, run along now and do what it is you vaunted heroes do best. The world shall tremble before my genius soon enough. Assuming you're able to prevent its destruction, that is. The Ragnarok is a collaborative effort in every sense. The culmination of knowledge from the world's greatest minds, both past and present. Without question, the greatest ship ever built. I am most grateful Wilson and Bluida have devised a contingency should the need to flee arise, though I pray it shall not. We must needs strive for victory to the last, that Atheris and her people survive, and that her champion return home without exception. I'd rather not spend any longer muling over strategy. None of us are strangers to despair. If that is the source of power, or source of her power, we are ready for it. Primal summonings as it was intended. I never dared consider they could be invoked without danger of tempering. Change has quickly come to this star, and the greater change yet awaits in the days to come. All the more reason we must not fail. Venturing quite literally into the unknown, we have to be ready for anything. As I've said before, whatever awaits us there, we will survive. We must. Man is said to fear what he does not know, yet you would venture into the greatest of unknowns. I say to you now, son of man, that you need not fear. So long as man shares the bond with the dragonkind, so too does he share our kinship with the heavens. Oh wait, that's the same line. Okay, so these all are the same line. Mother, father, grandfather, we will save this star and return home. I promise. The Ragnarok, unless his grandfather's legacy live on. We mustn't waste any more time. Let's board and set out for Ultima Thule. Emelians will not be joining us. I'm afraid she cannot bear to watch our children embark on so perilous a mission. Make no mistake, I feel the same. I cannot tell you how many times I had to step away from my duties, so distracted by thoughts of all that it was that could go wrong. Even now, part of me wants to drag them away and forbid. Well, now that they would listen. So I will see them off with pride in my heart, and a prayer on my lips. For my children and for this star they love so dearly, you must prevail. If you would come this way, I will direct you to the bridge. On boarding the Ragnarok, several cutscenes will play in sequence. Okay, guys, shall we begin our final steps to the end? Let's hit it. God, I love the look of the ship. It's the final count. Probably because there's a lot of places for people to live.
Everyone! I hope you have everything, because I can't be bothered turning back. Right then, make yourselves comfortable. We're setting off in just a moment.
Yeah, she should have a commander chair. You're right, Ray Ray.
It's incredible.
This is Forshano. Can you hear me? The preparations for the summonings are complete. In accordance with the 14th phase of the plan, we have moved the Ragnarok to the launch site. The gates are open. You may depart when ready.
Are we ready?
Who else was completely unsure of what the hell they would find
Let's get going.
at the end of the universe? At the edge of the universe, I was like, "What's the map gonna be?"
That star's got more fire in its belly. Try it again, with feeling.
Oh, do we let Alfino do it, or do we issue the command? Oh no! Oh no! No no! It kind of was his plan. I want quickly, guys. You guys pick. Paul. Okay, you got 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alfino it is. Alfino,
Me?
why don't you do the honors?
But I...
No need to
It was
be
your
coy,
mission, after all.
brother. Do it, and do it well.
If you all insist.
Onward unto the distant stars and beyond. Ragnarok, engage.
Engage!
Engage!
Okay, Loporet's Power Rangers win. I want Loporet Super Sentai so bad now. Dude, it looks like they're about to fire an orbital cannon. Think to the 1.0 trailer real quick. This is a callback. Leviathan fucking sailing through the sky.
That I must carry landwalkers into the sky. I cannot imagine a greater indignity.
Do not sulk so. For thy mighty winds exist not only to buffet and batter. Nay, they may serve also to thrust forth with vigor. Such is thy glory, and thus it is an occasion to rejoice. So come, let us revel!
Fucking love Susanna! Oh, beautiful.
So long as the wind blows freely, I suppose all is as it should be in creation. I will render unto them a storm, that they may pierce the firmament and fly free!
I'm firing my laser.
Still in one piece? Good. Sleeping Ray? Report?
All's well. Fantastic, even. Thanks to the power of those primals, the engines are roaring and we're ripping along.
All values are also within projected ranges. Time to destination is 8 carats. Perhaps 7 at a pinch. All right, let's go over some points of caution.
Hey, 3 good to go to have you.
As you know, is Ultima Thule. Lest you wonder, the place is not a star so much as a patch of emptiness. That's the extent of what our equipment could determine, anyway. From what we know of Meteon, she's likely used dynamis to obfuscate her location.
So, in conclusion, we'll only know what's there when we get there.
The crew and I will see to it the ship's ready to take off at a moment's notice. We'll support the search as best we can, but it'll be your paws on the ground, assuming there is any. But everything will be fine, I'm sure. Hydaelyn believes in you, so you ought to believe in yourselves. Just don't do anything I wouldn't, like waiting too long to use those portable teleporters of yours. Personally, at the slightest sign of trouble, I'd mash the button to bits, and you should as well.
Understood. We promise to be careful.
I suggest you brace yourselves. We're about to arrive and the vessel will shake a good bit.
Uh-oh. Pay attention to the screens when they pop up.
What is this? Something is interfering with the equipment.
Those all say 404.
Greetings.
Oh god.
Greetings. Can you hear me?
Meteon.
So this is Meteon.
Oh. Have you met one of my sisters? I don't remember meeting you myself. But I do know that you're from Atheris. Why have you come? All you had to do was wait. I would have delivered to you your ends.
We didn't ask for that.
I don't understand. All life is destined to end. Why choose to prolong your suffering? Effort, ambition, love, they amount to naught. Happiness, should you find it, is inevitably lost, stolen away by events beyond your control. There is no logic nor meaning in it. You think there is. Convince yourselves. But it's all a cruel accident. Come now. I speak the truth. A truth you would recognize if you looked up at the night sky. Unbroken emptiness. Cold, dark, and silent. Your world, like every other, is but a blemish upon its perfect fabric. Life is an anomaly. It is unnatural and cannot continue. The sooner you accept this, the easier it will be.
Just to be clear, we're not here to argue with you. We know that life is fleeting, and that in the short time we have it, we're not assured happiness.
Indeed. I've seen far more sorrow in the eyes of many I've met. I myself have plenty of regrets. And one day they'll die with me, gone to dust with my good deeds and unfulfilled dreams.
But we accept this. That our existence may seem pointless. That sorrow, rage, and despair will always dog our heels. And we press on regardless. That is why Hydaelyn guided us here. In her boundless love for mankind, she has prepared us for this trial, and in her name, we have come for you.
Yes, I sense it. A burning passion like unto fury. I know it well. For the same passion once burned in many a star before yours. Suffocated and extinguished now.
I can't breathe.
You approach the bounds of my ultimatum, where emotions dictate reality, where resignation and acceptance unite to embrace the end, where those who yet valiantly cling to life can thrive.
By the Fury. Thancred?
Meteon has gone as well. Mayhap he awakened first and gave chase.
Everyone? It appears we are at our destination. This is Ultima Thule.
Not that we knew what to expect, but I wasn't expecting this. From atmospheric composition to ambient temperatures, all reading to within permissible range. This place is capable of supporting life.
If that's the case, then Thancred may well have gone on ahead. Let's go and have a look. Meanwhile, I want the rest of you to perform a full inspection of the ship, as well as a biological scan.
So it was that the brave wayfarers arrived at last at Dream's End. In following their path walked and history written, I am made keenly aware of one truth. Though the curtains may fall again and again, so long as others take the stage, ever shall there be more tales to tell. So, let them bring it to a close, I say. Let the curtains fall upon this, the final chapter in the tale of the star.
Is this a dead star?
As I live and breathe, I live and breathe. Well, the environment itself shouldn't kill us.
Well then, let us search for Thancred while exploring the area. The ship we leave in your care.
There's this dizzying, disorienting feeling about this place, as if I could lose my footing at any moment. We must be careful. Did thou witness what became of Thancred? So quickly was I overcome by Meteon's malevolence that I saw naught of their altercation. It's so dark. I can barely see anything. If Medion should strike again with such overwhelming force, I honestly don't know how we're to oppose her. We were clearly no match for Medion, yet we survived unscathed. But how? It is living, as Livingway said. I can breathe well enough. Something about this place feels wrong.
I can't guarantee it will be of help in these strange surrounds, but I've readied a provisions node in case of emergency. Of course, if you encounter any real danger here, I expect you to return to the Ragnarok at once.
We're fortunate enough this place can support life, albeit barely. I suspect given the torpid, stale quality of the air. But never mind that. We must find Thancred. Begin our search from the prow of the ship. It seems as good at any as a direction. Try not to stray too far, lest we lose sight of one another. Simultaneously so beautiful and so sad. I see no one else in the barren wastes, do you? Then why do I feel like we're not alone? Like there's another presence with us. Something dark and mournful. What was this, I wonder? There's a structure here in front of me, yes? A tower of some sort, partially melted? It's a strange twist of fate. It seems our perception of this place is not so different as it would be elsewhere. The world as I used to see it. It feels as though I am dreaming while awake. This is more than the faded memory Medion led us to believe. These remains have long since turned to ash, and yet they retain their form. Where's Estinian? Ruins, but of what, I wonder? Perhaps we can find something to help us understand the nature of this place. A relic, an inscription, anything. Look here, this part is relatively intact. The intricate designs of top suggested as man-made, though its builders were surely not men as we conceive of them. Those patterns might look familiar. Having said that, I swear I've seen this pattern before. The metallic pillar has been partially melted, likely sometime in the distant past. Damage does not appear to have been inflicted deliberately. Rather, it calls to mind the indiscriminate destruction often wrought in the heat of battle. Ostrakhan Deca Octo. An Ostrakhan, I believe, is a shard of pottery from the ancient world. I'm trying to remember what the exact thing of an archon is, but it's basically a remnant of an artifact from long ago.
I thought this hill might afford a better view of our surroundings. Poor decision in hindsight. Besides the light from the ship, all is shrouded in darkness. If Thancred is here, I'd never know it. From what I can tell, we are near the edge of an island. You can call it that, surrounded by floating debris.
Were you able to find anything? As I feared, and still no trace of Thancred. There's nothing but emptiness as far as the eye can see, which unfortunately isn't very far. Though I can't help but suspect that someone or something is here. There are times when I sense it drawing close, then a chill washes over me, leaving me exhausted. Leaving me with feelings of death and anguish. I see a being over there. Maybe that has something to do with it. What are you talking about? There's nothing there. Before we jump to any conclusions, perhaps we should search elsewhere. Agreed. We've found only more questions when we are in desperate need of answers. There are fair stretches of terrain from the ship's port side we've yet to explore. Let us try searching there, then. Cannot agree more, Rag. Elio, a word before we leave to join the others. God, I love Xanarkand. I didn't think about putting Xanarkand in the same breath as Ultima Thule in terms of, like, I don't know why I didn't, but it really is similar. I wonder if there was any thought to that when they made Ultima Thule, when they decided its design. I wonder if there was any inspiration from Xanarkand.
You see them too, don't you? The dragons.
I do.
As I thought, the presence is tenuous at best. There's no mistaking it. No doubt your bond with Midgard Summer and mine with Nidhogg is what allowed us to perceive them. Could these apparitions be related to the dragons that now live on Etheris? Bah! Better to leave such conjecture to the others. In any case, we must be careful. We may soon find dragons they can see as well. Death and anguish. What happened to them, I wonder?
The sky in Ultima Thule, a sea of stars. I don't want to go any further than this, but I want to know who, when you heard the music here, figured out what it was right away. I immediately did because of what I said about the trailer, the gameplay trailer, and how the music and that, like, immediately moved me. Have a good night, Tracy.
My sight may have been restored after a fashion, but I fear what I see cannot be trusted. As if Medion herself has etched these images upon my heart, I doubt not that such a feat is within her power, even that she constructed this sanctuary herself. Surely mine eyes deceive me. This cannot be possible. Look there! Are those ghosts, do you think? Dragons! It is true they're not of our world, but to find them in a prison of despair. It seems these dragons have yet to succumb to completely to the darkness of this place. Many of the others should see them as well.
Dragons? Here?
What you see is a memory of a world that once was. A world suffering a slow death, whose denizens cried out for the release of oblivion.
What? Their world is dead?
It is. Not a single life remains upon that husk floating in the vast emptiness. These creatures are shadow and shade, perpetuated only to suffuse dynamis with their unending lamentations.
Our friend Thancred, where is he?
A strange question. He is at your side, is he not? Oh yes. He is here and there, and everywhere within this space. He would tell you himself if he had form to form words. Huh. Such loathing and uncertainty. You don't know why you still exist. In like manner to the oblivion I send, I tried to drown out your ether with dynamis. Beginning with this Thancred, who came at me despite being unable to breathe. Such a simple thing, unmaking men. In the blinking of an eye, he was gone. Didn't even have the chance to be transformed. Yet somehow, he managed to leave a slither of himself behind. What you call the heart? Or perhaps the soul. In his final moment, he cried out from it. A single word. Survive. That wish proved stronger than the despair that ruled here. It overpowered it, causing this space to be remade. Into a place you can perceive, and where life can endure. That you draw breath is proof that his soul lives on. For how long, however, remains to be seen.
Well then, we should hurry and tend to business. Huh?
It's futile. You will never reach the true me. I told you, Emotions dictate reality in this space. Such changes as you might work will not alter in its nature. You may see, but you cannot touch. Walk, but not advance.
Meteion holds too much sway here. How do we contend with a foe who can unmake us on a whim?
I do not know. But Thancred gave his life that we might come this far. We must press on.
Agreed. We cannot turn tail here. Not without something to show for our comrade's sacrifice.
More people over time would complain about that. Well, I mean, the Aetherites makes remember, like, they formed Aether. There's Aether thanks to Thancred, and effectively the Aetherites are functioning by system of creating dynamis ley lines, ethereal ley lines between each other. Especially because, like, the dynamis here is affected by people's emotions, beliefs, faith, like, feelings and stuff. So, like, the fact that there is effectively things functioning within here is a byproduct of the sacrifice of our friend, allowing it to function in a way that we understand. Yeah, I powered through the zone, pausing after each key moment, recover, we're soldiering on, knowing I had no other choice. Yeah, I remember I played all of this on the third day of Endwalker being out, and not another soul was here. Yeah. Ended up having to spread out over 2 days to save myself. If my aim was true, I had her. How are we to defeat an enemy we can't attack? It's hard to believe Thancred was able to overcome Meteion's will, and here we are. But the price for victory had not been so high. He can't really be gone, can he? Meteion herself said his soul persists, that he is the reason we are still breathing. If so, then maybe... I understand now why the Loporets were surprised to find that this environment could sustain life. There but for Thancred's sacrifice. His will was strong enough to reshape Ultima Thule that we might survive, that I might see again. His sacrifice must not be wasted. Despite Meteion's words, Urianger cannot accept that his comrade is gone. Soul without body. A form of being with which we are not wholly unfamiliar. Indeed, but we existed in a similar state when residing in the Verse. The circumstances are rather more dire than that, 'tis true, but I choose to believe he is not forever lost to us. Regardless, in sacrifice he hath afforded us a chance to prevail. Let us not squander it, and ascertain the nature of this realm, that we might confront and defeat Meteion. Justinian, Elio, would you accompany me in speaking with these dragons? Mayhap they can enlighten us. I would ask the rest of you to survey these surrounds. There is a path that may lead us to our quarry. We must find it. Very well. We can reconvene here when everyone is finished. Meteion said these dragons are shadows and shade from a world whose denizens sought oblivion. As such, they are not like to be amenable to company, let alone conversation. But please, be careful. Let us split up and gather what knowledge we may. Say Losk. A visitor, not of this star. With thy slender hands bring plague to our world, thy breath extinguish life's feeble flame. Oh, how we would adore thee, alas. With time our flesh shall wither, our souls fade, and so we wait for its inexorable march unto oblivion. thou art not come to hasten our demise, I bid thee farewell. We crave not companionship, only silence.
And yeah, if you haven't noticed, make sure to pay attention to the quest. So this quest is called Unburdened Wings, but you'll notice it's starting to the text is starting to deteriorate.
Thou art unlike the others. This place ill befits these. Do not tarry over long. Who are you? The telling of my tale alters not its course. If thou knowest my brethren once ruled these skies, will our kingdom return? Should I boast that I was first among our haunters? Will the comrades I failed live again? Nay, once I lived, and now I await the coming oblivion. Nothing more.
What is this place?
This is not our home. To our home did come the metal demons, who of life and joy scoured it clean. These are mere bones, and among them do we rest our wings forevermore. Leave us now to our morning, traveler. Thou wilt find no solace here.
To dwell on the past yieldeth not. Our desires meant little to our destiny, and less now. Yet regrets find me nevertheless.
Beyond that distant veil, paradise lost. So glorious, so beautiful. We were a proud and noble race, strength embodied. We knew only love, before they came. Metal monstrosities of black and silver, no bonds of blood did they share, nor conviction did they have to guide them. A crushing defeat. Never had we known such shame. Still now are the winds, though none could fill these wings burdened by ignominy. We fly no more, only sink to oblivion.
Ere the metal came, my kin were many and splendid. Elegant worms like unto ripples on the water. Worms possessed of limbs so powerful as to rend the land in twain. Worms I have long since forgotten. Faces lost to the tides of time.
Drink not of this spring, tainted are its waters, and thy dainty form hath not the capacity to withstand it.
This would have broken Midgard summer to see what was left of his people. Maybe. Or maybe he would have taken heart in knowing that his kind still live on.
Thou wouldst bid me speak. Folly. I observe the lessons of stone. I shall not fly, nor speak, nor roar, only watch and wait and end. But one sight yet stirreth my blood, tempteth me to raise my voice in lamentation. Ah, no, the cradle of unsung dragons. No words, no song has possessed of the weight to describe such tragedy. Go, if that be thy will, I shall remain.
Lynn, interesting. Yeah, and I think the and the sideways E in burdened is also lowercase. If you look at burdened, the E in it is also it's just on the side.
For those of you who have done the Omega quest line and also have faced Midgard, did the E10 or O10, some of the imagery here might be familiar to you as well. The motes of green, the rocks, the spires. No. Eggs of dragons.
They led you here as well, did they? It was described to me as the source of their woes and proof of their end. I think I'm beginning to see why. The hatching ground, or was, seems similar on Atheris. Midgard Sommer's kind must once have lived and thrived in a place such as this. Vritra said his father was driven from their ancestral home by war and strife. This, then, is the fate of those who remained. Let's have a look around. Maybe these eggs have more to tell of what happened.
Gingerly lifting a large egg from the viscous mire, you peer inside and see a formless mass soaking in a pool of embryonic fluid. Your stomach turns as you return the egg to its resting place. A murky liquid is pooled inside the eggshell. The noxious odor is indicative of contamination. Inside the shattered egg, you find the remains of an unborn dragon. The body has already begun to decompose. The gelatinous, half-dried membrane covering the corpse suggests it failed to emerge. The egg appears to have been broken from the inside out. Perhaps the dragonet within it succeeded in hatching.
What's this? But all the eggs have been ruined.
The dragonet was indeed hatched. There's no sign of it here, or its sire for that matter. We should look for them. You start with the cliff tops and I'll search the plains. Ultima Thule is both beautiful and so heartbreaking.
Boisterous howling hath been quieted by thy hand, I presume. Everything all right? I thought I heard a dragon or something resembling one.
I dealt with what remained of the baby dragon.
Ah, I see what's happened here. Was that your child? Perhaps. Some eggs within Omnol are indeed mine. If life within one did quicken, beast thou hast slain may be of my blood, yet I do not recognize it, twisted and malformed as it is. Not a dragon, in truth, but a reminder of our failure, a testament to our shame. Explain. They descended from the heavens, cold, heartless machines, and with them rode war and death. With fire and fury, rage and rancor, we gave answer. 'Twas a long and bloody battle, but only the beginning. Untold chaos and destruction swept over the star. In the end, the invaders were victorious. Yet when they looked upon their prize, they deemed it unfit for requisition. We were abandoned to our ruin. Survivors sought to put away their shame, to rebuild a futile effort. In purest soil, replete with aether, did we once cultivate our nesting grounds, but our lands were barren, and any eggs nurtured in such desolation were fated to rot. What few survived to hatch emerged as abominations. We shall have no new progeny. But there are dragons among you, yet capable of journeying to other stars. That there are, many would make the attempt, each bearing a clutch of dragon eggs. The richest stars were home to the harshest rulers, and the arrival of dragons incited contests for supremacy. When the fires faded, the wars lost and won, they too were reduced to ash and waste. 'Tis the curse of those who seek life, to be drawn into conflict, to conquer or be conquered. A vicious cycle we now choose to break. We tire of conflict, of everything. We wait now in sweet, merciful silence, free from strife and suffering, still as stone. Wait! You claim your kind is doomed, but there is another star! Test of will. They want only to brood in silence, to be left alone with their grief until its time itself comes to an end. The sole reward for senseless bloodshed, a pain I understand, and wish they did not, and wish that I did not. What fools we were. But now isn't the time for such thoughts. The others will want to hear what we've learned. Come. Feels like you're in a big empty mall. Yeah. The echoing music. A place that used to be once so alive but feels so dead. Yeah. It feels wrong. Feels like it should be a place full of life. Instead, all you can find is sorrow. With luck, they'll have learned something to help us devise a plan of action. I chanced to gain audience with several dragons ere we returned, though I expect their tales are much the same as those you've heard. Good to see you made it back in one piece. The more I see this place, the more bewildering it becomes.
Did your exploration prove eventful? Converse with any dragons? We would hear what the dragons had to share with you, even if it's no different from what they told Eorzean. It would still have value. No, I can see, but I'm just reading. I'm reading them anyways. Yeah, there you can see that the I and will is almost being partially erased or be corrupted. Were you able to establish any meaningful contact with the dragons? I see. They wish to escape what they perceive as to be a cycle of conflict. Thank you, Elio. Stinian. As for our part, I believe we are more acutely aware of our confines than before. We started by traversing the parameters of the island to see if there might be a path leading off of it. Sadly, there was nothing to be found. There's no small amount of debris floating about. Could there be enough to serve as a bridge to lead us somewhere? I considered that, and so I tried throwing a stone onto a potential platform to judge its integrity, but it never reached its mark. As it crossed an invisible threshold just beyond the boundaries of this island, it vanished, only to reappear above me and fall at my feet. I would not be too quick to presume that what we see outside this space is as it appears, which is why I returned to the Ragnarok and asked the Leopards to search for a potential path. However, the ship's instruments failed to provide conclusive data on the surrounding area. Until we know more, I think it's too risky to attempt flying to another island. What Medion told us before, the emotions dictate reality here, might be key, but I'm not entirely sure what emotion might manifest a bridge to lead us to safety. So what you're saying is we've no way forward? At present, if it is indeed emotion that governs this island, perhaps it is not Medion's, but the dragons that holds us here. They tire of conflict and have chosen a path of oblivion to escape it, but rather, they have chosen no path at all, meaning there is no way for the dragons or anyone here on this island to advance. A sound theory, disheartening though it may be. If that's the case, what recourse do we have? They are not like to be persuaded to help us. Their reasoning is built on a history of turmoil and strife. Without irrefutable proof, the future is not as bleak as they believe it to be. Mayhap persuasion is not the answer. Medion is meant to unmake us then, and there on the Ragnarok, Medion meant to unmake us there and then on the Ragnarok, and she would have succeeded if not for Thancred's determination. She conceded it was strong enough to overpower the despair that otherwise rules Ultima Thule, and reshape it to a degree. Perhaps it can be done again, in like manner, by overpowering the prevailing emotions. 'Twas Ultima Thule's architect, Medion herself, against whom Thancred did pit himself in a clash of wills. Though I marked no leader among them as such, I did chance to encounter a dragon possessed of despair, far more potent than most. Potent enough, mayhap, to dictate the course for others, and thus the domain to follow. He spoke but few words, carefully chosen, their tone and timbre alone threatening to rend my heart in twain. Challenging his desire to remain may allow us to alter this island upon which we stand. Alas, I fear my vaunted rhetoric availed me not against his calcifying heart, but mayhap one of you will fare better. Then I shall guide thee. All End, they call him, in the dragon tongue. Thou wilt find him nearby, eye fixed upon the water. Well, what have we to lose? Let's get going. Estinian understands this place. He understands what's necessary. More than anyone else, it makes sense for him to get it. Know what's needed to forge ahead. Ever the pragmatist. I guess that's the story for most of Ultima Thule, right? what it means to forge ahead. Yeah. Appropriate, I guess. Thanks for the link, Ray Ray. Yeah, you can't, don't worry, you can't fall through the cracks or anything here, Cathro.
He remaineth as he was when I first approached, entombed in melancholy.
I see. Perhaps I could...
I'll handle this.
So, waiting to die like all the others, are you?
Aye, our pride is crushed and our souls corrupted. The winds are stilled and the heavens offer no comfort. There is nothing left for our kind. Our long lives a curse as we await the end. Still as stone. Still as stone we shall become.
So you say. Yet your kind has found a new beginning on our star. One of you braved the expanse, bearing with him a clutch of eggs. They and their children now rule our skies, their song heard by all.
Our kin on another star? And yet, upon thee do I smell the blood of my brethren. Were they drawn into discord and war on their new home?
They were. They suffered much, and repaid their suffering in kind.
It matter not whither we fly. Ever will our sanguine ocean await us. Ever will retribution's wheels turn. And so, on the last of my pride as a dragon, I break free of this wheel. I renounce conflict, exile myself from the other, never again to be touched by the flames of hatred.
Had your brethren made the selfsame choice, my family might still be alive. Yet lasting peace does not come to those who simply retreat from conflict. No, you must be willing to confront it, to stare into the face of your foe, and see yourself in him. Only then can you break the cycle of torment and tragedy. This lesson, a dear friend taught me at the risk of his life. There is no nobility in your penance. You wallow in self-pity. And after everything we've endured, we will not let you stop us.
Estinian!
Stay back!
We tire of war. We tire of turmoil. dignity tarnished, crimson stained. Our misery, our shame, too much to bear. Release us from war, from life.
I see. This is the emotion that bars our way. The rest is up to you.
No! Not Estinian too!
A wind that opens the way.
There's a wind. He's opened the way for us. Sacrificed himself to remake this place, like Thancred did.
Oh, Alphino.
Come. Let us follow the wind. It will not lead us astray. He would not.
So perfect. He knows exactly what needs to be done. He figures it out, and just no question, right? Immediately he's ready. No, it's not just about self-sacrifice, but he's the only person in that moment who could have succeeded with the raw emotion that was needed to confront that dragon because of what he went through, because of all the ways he struggled, all the things he learned, his story. His story mattered not just because of all the steps mattering along the way, but without them we couldn't get here. And now that he sacrificed himself, the music is cleared a little more, along with our path forward. Must this always be the price paid for safe passage? If I had known this place would claim Estinian too, No, it's what had to be done. As by the beating of mighty wings doth wind blow, where dragons may ne'er again touch the sky, he and the shade he bore shall soar free. Estinian returned the winds to the Dragon Star. The wind had saved the fog that covered the island and the air. It no longer feels quite so stifling. Look, there, the wind. This is Estinian's doing, I am sure of it. We should ride its flow and see where it leads. Ahead. Okay, guys, that's where we're going to call it for today. Tomorrow's the final episode. We're going to finish Endwalker out and our long march forward. Oh my god, emotions. Oh my god. I know, I'm sorry, I'm not a lot of fun. I get very serious, like, when things are emotional and when things are, like, meant to be, like, taken seriously. I, like, I earnestly, like, take them with, like, Oh god, I love this story so much. Yeah. Ultima Thule is no fun allowed in the best way. Yeah, yeah. You know, that's not a bad way to put it, Rag. Yeah. You know, it's interesting. Everyone suffers, I think, is... Maybe I'd put it differently. Because, to me, part of the reason I take it so seriously is because... As much as I feel sad, when I felt sad when I first lost Justinian, watching a man who fought so hard and learned so much, and his arc come to such, not a conclusion, but like a natural point. It's so earned that, like, joy isn't the right word, but pride? It's kind of that thing I've been trying to say about all the other characters thus far. Moonbreeda, Papalimo, Minfilia. People who do something of the utmost importance, do something that is of absolutely who they are in that moment. And there being no regret to it. I don't know. Something about that I find deeply moving. Maybe more so than I find the sorrow heartbreaking. I think we should all be so lucky to be able to be our best selves and to, when our time comes, have it come standing for something we believe in, or defending something we believe in, or making a better world a reality, you know? Yeah, we're gonna be, you know, yeah. And we will be doing tribal quests at some point. We'll figure that out a bit later on. Quick do the final little diddy-doos. Don't forget that we'll have the final stream tomorrow, Monday and Tuesdays. This Saturday is going to be our cooking stream. If you want to be with us, we're going to do a bunch of recipes from the Final Fantasy XIV cookbook. If you want to join our Discord to play games with us and do all sorts of content and have people to talk to about Final Fantasy XIV, discord.gg/archives. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Yes, you can support us over on places like Patreon and here. Obviously, right today, the banner is not above my head because we were having technical issues, but yeah. I'm really excited to complete this journey with you guys tomorrow. And it's wild. I've thought about how I'd feel when we got there for now almost, like, probably like 16 months, something like that. And it's funny, because when you finally arrive, you simultaneously I don't know, it's not less, but it's a moment you never thought you'd see. You see it. But you always knew it was coming. Maybe that's different than something that surprises you for the first time. I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Don't forget there will be a dungeon and a trial if you want to join in. Would love to have you guys, and I'll see you in a bed of flowers, hopefully. I've been Elio Forceron, and I'll see you guys soon. Cheers.